Hey guys, and welcome back to the Nerdattude Movie Podcast. I'm your host, Lewis. I'm here with Alex and Giovanni and Batman.
Uh-huh. Yeah. What's up?
Matt has left the show, and we're here reviewing three movies. I can't do this.
I'm trying.
Reviewing Batman Returns, or as Batman calls it, Returns.
When I returned back to Gotham, I took a sabbatical. And when I returned, it was winter, so my tires didn't have a whole lot of traction. And then there's this fucking penguin guy. We'll talk about
it. Yes, we will. And we are also reviewing the Advent Calendar and for Christmas.
That about delicious German chocolates?
Technically it is.
Awesome.
It is.
Can I stay for that?
Although there were only 3 chocolates technically in that whole fucking calendar.
Yeah, no, I would need at least 12.
4 chocolates, 3 for the dad, and the first one she ate.
And a stick of gum.
Gum? That sounds like the Riddler did that shit.
Exactly.
Some bullshit. What else you guys got?
Before we get into the review,
the third movie.
Vince Vaughn, huh? I don't like him.
The third movie, 4 Christmases.
Batman, before we get into the review, we usually talk about what we've been watching or doing for the last week. So you want to start?
All right. Besides fighting crime, I mean, believe it or not, Batman jerks it a lot. I mean, I don't really go on dates, but I just started The Shield on Hulu. I like badass cop stuff. I started watching The Rookie, but then they're like, "Yo, we're not using real guns anymore on set." And I'm like, "Fuck that pussy shit, bro." So I'm back to The Shield.
Well, technically, you don't use a gun.
But I bring a certain
firearms,
level.
But you don't use a gun.
Excuse me, crime fighter. I bring a certain level of Vic Mackey justice to Gotham City. I think it's fair to say
his guns.
I'm the Gotham's Vic. I would flex for you, but my suit's a little restrictive at this point. Got a little bit of my eyes hurting.
Went straight through the fucking cowl.
That didn't happen. Didn't happen.
You're able to stick your finger in there.
Who are you? Listen, I'm on my iPad. All right, I'm in a goddamn cave. Okay, I get bad signal in the back.
Batman, there's been reports of you vaping. I don't know if this is true.
Well, I mean, don't smoke, but it's a good old. Hold on, I'll show you. Hold on.
Batman's eyes are going into his fucking cowl.
Hold on. Got some. See? That's right. Batman's got a cold. Only one nostril goes through.
Or a deviated side.
But yeah, both maybe. I get punched a lot in the face. I don't know. I mean, I've just been, watching Yellowstone, and Dexter's new season's pretty good. I like how it's filmed. What you guys been watching, huh? I've been fighting a lot of crime.
I don't know who wants to go next.
I'll go next. Continuing my adventure of Japanese horror films. And I recently started...
you like that Ringu?
Yeah, Ringu.
I like that Ringu movie.
I recently started a Hellbound series on Netflix. Pretty good. It's a Japanese horror series. That's what I've been watching.
Nice.
Told about that, yeah. I've been watching La Brea. I finished it with my wife because she loves that shit.
Watching what?
Is it?
La Brea.
That sounds like a dish at a restaurant.
Like the tar pits. The La Brea tar pits sink in, and it opens up a portal to 10,000 BC. So it's in LA, but it's in 10,000 BC.
Oh, it's a new show, right?
Yeah. We just finished watching that. I'm actually on the last episode of the new Doctor Who Flux. So the 6th episode of that, where I guess this doctor's gonna go away, and that's about it. Just those two.
Don't they all though? I mean, like, don't they all go away?
At some point? Yeah.
Lewis, what you watching?
God damn it, I didn't plan this, but I I just recently watched the Infinity War movies,
Oh,
and this isn't a bit, but the scene that makes me sad in the movie is Thor going back in time to meet his mom because his parents die.
uh-huh,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, listen, I think all of Gotham knows I've got some mommy daddy issues, and I'm not offended. I mean, I am, but what's your address? Anyways, move
P.O.
on.
box.
Yeah, so what?
You're-
My
you're a
parents
crime
were
sleuth, you can figure it out.
we're making a joke. I got to watch my mom's pearls all over the alleyway, and he got shot in the face. That's real funny. Have you ever seen the autopsy photo of my father?
He got shot in the face with pearls.
He shot him in the fucking eyeball. Okay, went right through. My mom got it in the throat. Looked like she was a cancer survivor. But it's a big fucking joke. Anyways, what else you watching? Holocaust
No,
tapes? You fucking sadist.
other other than that, Vikings and just weird shit on YouTube. That's pretty much it.
Any Batmans though?
No, but although I've been reading detective comics lately, so
Some say I'm the greatest detective. Most say that actually.
I, I would agree.
Are you familiar
Gotham?
with Gotham City? Have you been there?
I'm from Chicago. I mean, that's pretty much Gotham City.
Well, it's about 3 hours south of Shell Beach. In make believe corner. So
True, it is true.
all right, well I'm gonna fuck off because
All right.
you guys are kind of bumming me out with the mommy daddy talk, and I got a pizza coming. So peace.
What kind of pizza?
I get the none ya fucking business kind. I don't. Have you ever heard of that? That's where you get double the toppings of none ya fucking business.
That's a Gotham special.
I know you Chicago guys like mushroom, onion, and sausage. I get that. This, double the nunya. That's what you get. I like broccoli on my pizza.
How
was-
much does your neck hurt from
Dude,
you
my
eating
eyes are
it?
like so fucking dry from trying to like bug them out to make it look funny, but like, no, my right eye started tearing.
I'm not even joking. I wanted to talk about how much Thor's parents' death made me sad. Cause like I just watched both Infinity Wars, and it's funny because they make it a bit that it's funny that Thor's like
Yeah.
broken from his fucking homeworld
Well,
dying, and it's like
yeah.
jokes and shit.
Well,
And even in the second movie.
Thor is one of those ones that like you legitimately feel bad for because he's a god, so he's gonna continue to be. Like, and that's one of the things that like they don't really explore in that mythos is the fact that like no matter what, Thor's gonna be Thor. He's always like he's basically immortal. So it's like after Tony Stark's dead, after this person's dead, doesn't matter.
It's just him.
Yeah, so his has kind of got one of the sadder arcs. I would argue Doctor Strange is kind of a depressing arc because he literally sees everything coming in every way imaginable and still has to take it head on.
No.
I would argue the new Spider-Man movie is scenarios he didn't see, or so it feels.
Oh, I'm opening up programs. Hold on. Shit.
Giovanni just ruined it.
Yeah. Full screen. Okay. Untouchable. Everything else.
But in Endgame, did he not search out that specific
There we go.
moment in time? That's why he saw the all these endings.
Yeah,
So
they
here's
needed-
the
So he doesn't see anything else. He just saw whatever he was searching
well,
for.
okay. So here's the thing:
How it ends.
is how he sees it similar to how Mantis sees it in the comics? Because I played the Guardians of the Galaxy game, and the way she describes it is it's kind of funny. As you're going through the level, she keeps saying like, "Oh, it's one of these endings," and Rocket will be like, "Well, how many of these times do we die?" And she's like, "Most of them." Like, so the way they have her perceive it is like, as she's going through, she's remembering every outcome that's ever happened that she's already experienced dozens of times over. Like, I don't know if Doctor Strange works the same. I'm not into the mythos of that lore.
With the time gem, I think he can seek out basically a specific time or a specific moment and see all
right, so
the
since we're talking
possibilities
about
of
this,
that moment.
now are they fucking playing us? Is in fact all three Spider-Mans are not there until the very ending? Like,
I think
is the very ending enough? If you watch the whole fucking movie and Tobey Maguire and the other one, Garfield, don't come out until the last 10 minutes, are you satisfied with that? They give you 10 minutes for the Spider-Verse, and they use the rest of the movie to set up the Sinister Six. Does that fulfill it, though? Like, that would leave me empty.
I think it'll be the last third of the movie, and I would assume that you're going to see Garfield with longer screen time, and Tobey Maguire will be like the cherry on top, you know, like he'll be in the movie for like.
See, I would disagree only because Garfield openly hated his time as Spider-Man, and it would make Tobey Maguire was a much.
He's not gonna hate this check that.
But Tobey Maguire was a much more beloved Spider-Man, so in my opinion, it would make sense for them to put him more of the centerpiece than Garfield.
That's why I think he'll be exactly last, because it's like the boom, there he is.
The problem with last is they literally introduced Goblin and fucking Doc Ock as the main Doc Ock is the guy who organizes the Sinister Six. He was in the game, he was in some of the comics, and he seems to be now in the movie. So the problem with that is you already started with Tobey Maguire's, and maybe that's the whole thing, is it starts with Doc Ock, and then Maguire has to come into the dimension to finish Doc Ock in this movie. That's the possibility. At one point they show him in a cage, but it's clearly earlier in the movie, almost as if the beginning scene is a fake out that they end up capturing him, and you don't get a scene of any of the other Spider-Mans. But I don't know. The more I read about it, the more I feel like you're not going to get much, if any, of a threesome coming.
The only scene, I think you'll get more of Tobey, because the only villain I've noticed who recognizes that Peter is not the Peter he's looking for is Doc Ock.
Doc Ock, yeah.
Dude,
that is it. He's the only one.
Disappointed would people be, or you be, if the movie ends and there's no Tobey Maguire?
Oh my god, I'd be pissed. I would be super pissed.
But here's the other thing that's highly suspect.
Or what if it's nobody else?
Is like him. Tom Holland's giving interviews where he's like, "No, I'd love to work with those guys someday, but yeah, no, they're not in this movie." Like, that's so fake. Like, nobody would say that. Nobody, if they were, like, you're clear, like, he's notorious for not being able to hide shit.
Yeah.
Him and Ruffalo, I think, are the worst of the Marvel guys.
I think they're in the movie. I think they're doing the best they can to keep a lid on it. And it's coming apart pretty quickly.
They have to be like Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire doesn't do interviews, like, at all.
You know, I don't know why, because I'm not even a big fan of a bunch of his movies. Although I will say, he had that one movie, Brother, with Jake Gyllenhaal, where he comes back from war, and he's so kind of scrambled in the brain that he starts to think that Jake Gyllenhaal and Natalie Portman plays the wife have been having an affair.
That's a good movie.
There is a really heart-wrenching scene where he finally loses it and just wrecks the fucking kitchen. And the whole time is screaming like, you fucked him in my house, you fucked him right here. And if I remember correctly, they never had an affair. Like, they never did anything with each other. It was just, he was so fucked from...
It's all in his head.
It was all that shit that PTSD he saw.
And everything.
Yeah, I mean, he came back and I think it's a good movie for kind of showcasing how these guys can come back broken. And unfortunately, families aren't equipped. The wives aren't equipped to handle it. And
there's no help for them when they come home.
The VA is a fucking joke.
The government doesn't give two shits about them. It's
they use them and they scramble them and they send them out there and
here's your $2.
Yeah, by the way, if you get into drug addiction or any sort of thing because of your mental illnesses, we're gonna lock your fucking ass up and ruin your life further.
It's not like you work for the WWE where they fucking take care of you even after you leave.
Do they? Because they just released like thousands of people, didn't they?
Well, no. Anybody who comes up with any kind of substance abuse problem, they offer them a.
Not Jeff Hardy.
No, they offered it to him.
I know.
But no, and any employee that's been with them, and even if with another company, even 10 years later, if they form some kind of addiction, WWE, as long as they're still around, they will pay for their rehab. So that's a good thing. I think that has to do something with their steroid policy.
I think it's Vince McMahon trying to protect himself from more lawsuits from aging WWE stars.
That's the big one.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of addiction,
Batman.
Yeah, we're talking about Batman Returns. But before we actually go into the movie, I wanted to ask you guys, which you kind of went into off air, who your favorite Batman was, or who your favorite actor who played Batman was.
I'm gonna say the kid from Twilight.
Dude, I'm excited for it.
I
haven't
haven't
seen it yet.
No, I don't know. I don't know how he's gonna do as a Batman. I mean, he's probably gonna be a good Bruce Wayne. I think
Okay, there's
the
a better
choreography
question
looks
than
pretty good so far.
who's
I think
your
it's two
favorite-
questions.
Who's your favorite Bruce Wayne?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Batman?
Okay, is it bad for me to say that Christian Bale is
Adam West.
Christian Bale is the best Bruce
Gotta count him.
Wayne.
I agree.
He's the but he's the best Bruce Wayne while he's playing Patrick Bateman.
Yeah,
So-
Christian
always
Bale
did
from
he
American Psycho is a
Yeah.
better Bruce
Mm.
Wayne than Christian Bale from Batman.
Here's my answer, I guess, and I kind of split it into three. Michael Keaton is arguably the most best
Iconically
portrayal
known.
of Bruce Wayne, because Michael Keaton he's a handsome dude in the movie.
Also,
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne knows his power and his Bruce Wayne. Michael Keaton did, I think, what none of the others did, which is he had a sharp tongue. Like specifically in
Mhm.
Batman Returns, when him and
Yeah.
Walken are going at each other across the tables, and he's like, "Well, me and the board agree. We don't need it. We got a surplus." And they basically, he did have a certain when he starts interacting with Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, he's got this I kind of want to fuck this, and then he pursues it. He is, I think, one of the best embodiments of Bruce Wayne as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, he's the best Bruce Wayne. The best Batman for me, which is maybe controversial, is Ben Affleck.
Controversial? You're out of the fucking show. No.
So let me explain why. For one, he's his character in all the movies is based off the Dark Knight Returns. And I it's my belief that if you are Batman, you have to be a bit more stockier. Like, it's a bit more believable.
Well, he really looked like the '90s cartoons Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
especially the Dark Knight Returns is what his suit is modeled after.
little bit of a shocker. I agree with you. Also, Batman has never before been a unifier before the Snyder series.
Yeah.
That's the only Batman you've ever seen unify anybody, and I'm not counting goddamn Batgirl and Robin from the other ones.
And
No,
look what
'cause
it
that's just
took
part of his-
to
yes.
look what it took for Batman in that series to unify people.
Also-
it took him seeing the world ending
Also,
to fucking do it.
Tell me
Yeah.
when you saw the
The Flash
trailers
showing
and then when you watch Batman versus Superman, the scene in the warehouse where he's fucking tearing people up and he's whipping dudes through giant wood crates and shit. Tell me that isn't an awesome Batman.
So
Yeah.
the one problem I have with that scene is when the movies came out, I had so many people who were into comic book movies, especially when I worked at Aldi and all that would tell me Batman doesn't kill people, and it's you
Have
Not
not-
true.
don't read
you,
comics.
yeah, you have
Not
not
true.
read different versions of Mr. Dark Knight.
Even if you watch the first movies,
Yes,
no, not-
he
not
kills
only
several
that,
in
in-
Batman Returns
So
via
he-
dynamite.
he set
Yeah.
somebody on fire.
So
Yes.
Yeah, with the fucking car.
So it's Detective Comics, I think it's number 27 or something. Batman kicks someone into a vat of acid and says something along the lines of that's a fitting death for him. That was the first time he killed someone in the comics.
Didn't he have his own Max series as well?
He did,
Yeah.
But that was in the original comics, and then they retconned that later in The Long Halloween, where that was the Joker. But even after that, Batman Detective Comics 39 and something. There's another one in the 1939 comics where Batman sets someone on fire.
It doesn't Batman Returns with his fucking car too.
Yeah, and that's the thing is Batman has always killed people. He's killed
Mhm.
people in every movie. There's a scene in Batman, the original one, the 89 one, where he pushes someone down a manhole cover and tosses a fucking grenade down there.
Oh, they do it in
Yeah.
Returns as well. That's the guy with the dynamite in his shorts or
Yep.
strapped to him.
Well,
Not to mention
He
he
blows him up.
kills Jack Nicholson's Joker in the first one.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
He lets
But
him
anyways,
go.
Yeah, I think Affleck is the best Batman, because I think if you're Batman, you got to be stockier. You got to be
And also,
the voice changer.
he
module
had the
too,
butt chin too. There was something about
Yeah.
that butt chin that's just okay, I got it.
But that's I don't know. That's me. What about you, Giovanni?
It's Michael Keaton as Batman. I do like his Batman. But I have to agree with Matt. I think the better Bruce Wayne, in terms of the way he acted, was what's his face? I always forget his
Patrick
name.
Bateman, bro.
Right?
Like that's the best. Christian Bale portraying Patrick Bateman is the best. If you took the scenes where he wakes up in the morning, where he goes, "I do crunches before a shower. I'm up to 1,000." If you got rid of that and you just put like a dark score to it, that's Bruce Wayne's morning workout. Right? Like
it also depends on your era of comics, because like early 2000s to now, if you read the comics, Bruce Wayne is a fucking dickhead to Alfred.
really?
He's a piece of shit. Yeah.
See, I've always liked graphic novels. I've never been a huge comic guy, certain things, but like I've always loved the series. So that's my problem with comic knowledge is like I know all the real dark stuff because that's what I gravitated towards. So like when somebody says like Batman doesn't kill, it's like okay, I like Snyder's portrayal. I thought if Snyder would have gotten a solo Batman movie, he like that didn't rely upon setting up the Justice League, didn't rely upon being part of a Batman movie or a part of a Superman movie, it would have been fucking awesome. But we never got that. Like we never got a Batman movie that had 4 scenes of crazy action. We got Batman vs Superman that had a couple, and then the rest of it was integrated with him meeting Superman.
Even if you didn't read the comics or you didn't know about Batman's history, and I'll bring it to modern times, and you watch Batman Begins, for example, he was raised by fucking assassins. So when he starts killing people, you can't even blink an eye.
I would argue if you really want to explore a good mix of the comic lore, I'd play the Arkham games. Between the Easter eggs they have, between the storylines they do kind of weave in, they do a pretty good job of giving you a pretty good feeling of different eras of him in one. They try to incorporate quite a bit of shit.
But Alex, what about you? What's your favorite Bruce Wayne, favorite Batman?
My favorite Bruce Wayne, only because I'm a lot older. I really like fucking Adam West.
Okay. So Alex, have you guys? I know Alex remembers, but have you guys watched and remember the original Batman movie?
When he punches the shark?
Yes.
No, the bomb one or the shark?
The bomb one.
Yeah.
But isn't there a scene with the shark with the submarine though?
Yeah, when he has the shark repellent and all that shit. Yeah,
that movie is laughably bad, but I will argue it is one of the most entertaining Batman movies because of scenes with the bomb, because some of the off dialogue, because you could see that they're literally in a pool with a sheet hanging down when they're on the submarine. That is one of my favorite Batman. But now that they remastered it and it's in HD and shit, you can see that Cesar Chavez refused to shave his mustache, so they make up over it. It's a terrible movie, but it is wildly entertaining to watch. The weird 60s dance scene they have in the middle of the fucking thing. If you haven't seen it in a while, go check. It's really a trip, but it's fun.
But I grew up watching a lot of the whole TV show of it, so I liked him as a Bruce Wayne. At that time too, his Batman was good because that's the only Batman I knew, but him as a Bruce Wayne, seeing all the other ones, I liked it because he was always elegant, even though he said all these stupid little quips and shit. He was always like this really proper guy that, he knew he was Batman at the end and he would see shit.
Miss Kitty.
But he also, I believe he also had an insight too of like who was who and who. I mean, but he just played like he didn't know.
There was always that like, you are familiar. Like they always had that like he knew
who the bad guy was, kind of similar to how Selena Kyle and
also
this Batman.
Adam West is one of the most authentic because Bruce Wayne is supposed to be a swinging guy. In real life back then, Adam West was swinging dick. Like he was a playboy. He was Bruce Wayne. Like he had money, he had fame. He was a ladies' man. Like it wasn't much of a stretch. He's basically, I just need to do a line of blow and continue living while we film. Let's do this shit. Miss Kitty, get over here.
As far as my Batman, I do like Keaton. I like the first movie. I like him and Joker.
The tone between number 1 and this one is entirely different, though.
Oh, absolutely! It's 180, complete 180.
I really wish this one would have been a little more serious, but we'll talk about that later.
I do have a question for you guys. Seeing this movie, what do you think Dark City would have looked like directed by Tim Burton?
There would have been some neon lights. There would have been some.
But I mean,
some
his
scores done
his
by-
his
honestly a
weird
similar-
architecture is very almost to be. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure the alleyway rooftops are probably the same ones from The Crow and Dark City. They are very similar.
Tim Burton has an eye for the dark and the macabre. I think he would have done a really good job.
He also
think
builds
so.
really big. I mean, the sets in this movie are pretty astonishing. Like they're pretty good. Like the giant statues and all. Like the sets are in any Tim Burton movie are always good.
But I guess we can. So let's bring up before we jump in the movie. I just want to.
Did Matt give his? Matt give his? Okay.
Bruce Wayne, Patrick Bateman. I'm gonna go with.
Okay.
Batman. I'm gonna go with Ben Affleck as well, simply because like I was one of those dudes that like when they came out with his armor and it was like, oh, he looks fat. I thought it looked cool because it was right off the cover of the fucking graphic novel. Like
Yeah,
it was
he looks like a
badass,
Batman
bro.
that could take a punch.
He looks
Yeah.
like a Batman that you would be intimidated out of the sheer potential for violence coming your way. Like he looks like Michael Keaton. Also, one of the worst things about Michael Keaton's Batman, and it's not his fault.
He can move his head.
He couldn't move his head. He wasn't athletic. Not really. He's just an average
yeah.
Joe, and he doesn't know how to fight. So all of the
With
fight
Joe's
scenes
and all
look
his fight scenes,
they look janky.
yeah.
And there's literally the one where he's fighting multiple dudes, and he literally bends all the way over to do a 360 to face the other guy, and then stands upright. And I was like, this. I mean, there's a problem with the fight scenes. The worst part about this movie is the fight scenes because they don't look good.
The one thing I do like about this movie versus a Batman and Bruce Wayne from the Batman Bruce Wayne aspect is super detective in this movie. I love the detective aspect that they explored more, I feel like, in this one than they do the other Batmans.
Well, the whole movie is like a 1920s detective noir feel to it. Like it's a
Mhm.
weird steampunk 20s noir kind of like what you don't know what year it is. It looks like the 20s, but they got full auto machine guns. Like it just none of it makes sense.
Their clothing, yeah, it's all fucking.
I honestly think I always joke about Danny DeVito, but I think he fucking kills it.
He really does, and he's.
Cobblepot.
I haven't watched this in a while. He's
As the perverted
speaks.
Cobblepot?
He speaks so much more eloquently that he actually, when you play like the Arkham games, is pretty accurate to even the Arkham's portrayal of like Cobblepot being this stout, fat, big mouthed asshole. Like they do a good job with it. I don't know. Like I think watching this again for the first time in quite some time. I agree. I think his performance is understated because of how they made him look.
He also said he'll step back into the role again if it's ever offered.
You know, if I had any sort of pull, I would get Danny DeVito, and I would literally build a script around him. I would figure something out just to work with the guy. He seems just like a nice dude. I have not watched any of the new season of Always Sunny because we said we were going to restart the series. So
I've been powering through
I think
it.
it's
Yep.
going to be kind of some time. We haven't spent any time together this week. She's been tired and doing other shit, and you know, this time of year, she's just busy. She gets into her. It's Christmas time, yay! She took Monday off specifically so we can go do some Christmas shopping, and I feel like a prick this year because like I don't know, like I don't know. I'm so much in my own adult life ahead where it's like I don't know what to tell you about what I want for Christmas. Like, what do you want me to say? A guitar? No, that's too expensive. Well, I don't know.
Say
Then.
something that's too crazy.
Well, that's the thing is, it's like I'd like. You want to know honestly what's in the back of my head? I'd love a fucking Les Paul. And I was literally just looking at my guitars like I haven't played you in a while. Like thinking about playing, I got to restring it. But the problem is I haven't played them in a while, so I got to restring them before I can play them. Like that's, I can't get a 3080, can't get a PS5. It's like anything, you know what I mean? The next thing is like I want a mixer / recorder so I can start. I can bring it upstairs and record the drums directly to it and mix my guitars into it. But you're talking hundreds of dollars. So it's like, I don't know, man. I want socks, but I don't know what I want to tell you.
I got a phone for Christmas
I love socks. Socks any day. And pajamas.
for Christmas.
Great gifts.
Yeah, but I people when they tell me they want socks, I buy them with the Nazi embroideries just to fuck them over. Socks? You want socks, do you? Hope you never take off your shoes at your Jewish friends' houses. What if you don't pay attention? You just throw them on, and like you see them like coming up above the ankle. Like, is that a goddamn swastika? Like, what the fuck? You're in the fucking line at the post office, and people are starting to eyeball you. That would be a good prank. I mean, well, it might get you stabbed. That's maybe not.
Good prank.
All right, so yeah, I mean, so this has always been one of my favorite Batmans, and it's a weird Batman because it feels entirely different from the first one, and then the ones that come after this feel entirely different from it.
So the thing about Batman and then Batman Returns, they're both really colorful in things that they do. So Batman with Joker, and then Batman with Penguin and his crew.
You know, the clown.
There's like, yeah, there's all this crazy shit that goes on. But I wish this was a little more serious. I don't know. It's hard to say that because Batman, the first one was serious, but it had its little joke things with the Joker, and it was only when he was doing it. And then with this one, it's like it happens every now and then, like even when the Penguin's not around.
Well, it's almost like
guys.
he was trying to keep the comic booky kind of goofball of the show of the Adam West, in there a little bit. And unfortunately, you're mixing it with kind of a surreal reality you're trying to portray, so it does becomes less kind of homage and more cheesy, tacky in some areas.
Because the first one was cheesy in its own right.
Yeah.
But this one was just a lot more cheesy, and it was 2 hours and 6 minutes.
You mean the movie that had its entire soundtrack written by Prince? No, that's not cheesy.
Yeah. And the whole dancing scene.
You also got to remember both.
But it was a Joker.
For both of these movies, Bob Kane was still alive, and so was Bill Finger. And they were creative directors. So both of these movies are in like the vein of like the original comics, where it's kind of like jokey.
But here's my thing though. With Joker, I can understand everything being a joke because it's the Joker. Penguin, was he ever joking? What did he ever joke around?
If you're in the original, like
was he
30s, 40s, like they're like all of the villains had their like quips.
Well, you could also argue this movie does kind of have the same sort of thing as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies had, where the first one was a much more grounded, darker kind of borderline movie, and then with the sequel, both Secret of the Ooze and Returns, there's a lot of goofy brought in.
Yeah,
and almost like you're Tim Burton, we're gonna let you be dark, but can you be Beetlejuice dark instead of,
because they wanted to target the children because they're going to buy the toys.
Which if you remember correctly, the toys were a big thing for this movie, like a big fucking. They were for every Batman movie after the first one were a big fucking thing.
With that said, I think Penguin in this movie was probably the more serious aspect of the movie. Penguin didn't really joke around, but when you went after.
I would argue, despite his one-liners, Christopher Walken pushing her out of fucking windows a little darker than Penguin running his mouth.
Yeah,
Penguin was more perverted
Penguin,
in this, though.
Yeah, Penguin was a bit more perverted. He bit off some guy's nose. Yeah, like
at least my nose isn't gushing blood. Huh? What? I like that scene actually.
It's really good. But his story is actually really sad. Like if you think about it,
a cast-out child because he's deformed. Yeah, it's a fucked up sad scene.
Pee Wee Herman actually reprises his role.
That is him, right? That's Paul. Okay, I thought it looked. I was like, that's Paul Rubens, and
he reprises that role as Cobblepot's father in the TV show Gotham. Yeah,
but they're supposed to be dead in the movie. He goes to the graves.
know, but I'm just saying that he reprised that role
in flashbacks.
Gotham. No, he comes back as Gotham. I guess he never. Well, Gotham, the TV show doesn't.
It takes place before Batman.
So
but it takes place before that. But he doesn't. He doesn't emerge at all until Batman returns.
So for the DCEU, one of the chief creators, who's also a author, Jeff Johns, he put it as they're not trying to do what Marvel does. They're kind of each doing their own thing, but it's just part of the multiverse. So that's why they. I
mean, that does make it. Just as a guy who follows logical thought process, then you are bringing in confusion by unless. I mean, did they clearly state like he's not the same character? He's just reprising it as the role, or was the character supposed to be actually connected?
No, just another. Well, that's like Ezra Miller makes an appearance in the Flash show,
but he's actually the Flash.
He just played. Yeah.
in that
He
it's a
just played-
separate dimension, a separate universe that invades the other universe. What I'm saying is, by
Yeah.
casting Paul Rubens, you're kind of saying it's the original Cobblepot, unless they directly were like, well, no, he's playing him, but it has no real tangency to the original role. It's just he decided to reprise.
Yeah, he's still playing a Cobblepot, but
DC
he's
doesn't
not.
do a good job of specific. They just use the excuse of like it's a share. It's a
Yeah, there's a multi-universe, so we can make up shit on the fly. Yeah.
It's like, all right, cool. I do want to point out my favorite scene is the Batman makeup scene where he is they're in Cobblepot's lair. It's the end of the movie. And he's gonna remove his cowl to show Selena Kyle that it's Bruce Wayne. And there's the one shot of him. He has the cowl, eyes are dark. Cuts to Selena Kyle looking at him. Cuts back to him, cowl, eyes are not dark, no makeup, and then he rips off the cowl. That seems funny, but also I was watching my wife and she's like, why did he just fucking rip off his mask and ruin it like that?
Yeah.
And I thought
Why
that
did
too.
you
I was
just
like,
take it off?
why did he ruin the mask? Like,
he's got a whole closet full.
Yeah, he can afford it. He's fine.
Also, my favorite scene as a kid was always the ending when Walken gets shocked to death.
Yeah.
For me, that was always like, huh, they cooked him.
He turns out to be a decomposed body. That yeah.
This is also the only Batman with the best Catwoman in it ever. Period.
I don't like Michelle Pfeiffer.
You don't like her?
I liked Michelle Pfeiffer.
She's the
Okay,
best
I'm sorry,
Catwoman.
Catwoman. If
I
it's the
did.
best Catwoman, needs to be explained. Like they add in some weird supernatural to where throughout the whole movie you're like, is this bitch a zombie? Like,
But I didn't like how she was able to acquire all these powers out of nowhere. I didn't like that, but I did like the.
she's
I did like
Neo,
the-
bro.
has-
She knows kung fu all of a sudden.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
I don't think she acquired powers.
No.
I understand the fighting capability
I'm
came out of
saying, yeah.
nowhere.
But they don't explain
little weird.
anything. Like the cats swarm her, and all of a sudden she's alive, but she's pale. Like,
Yeah.
like why couldn't you have just explained it with like the cats came around her and each gave her one of them their lives, and it was hundreds of cats. So as for right now, she's theoretically immortal. But instead, it's some weird like, oh, I wake up like a fucking zombie. The kitty cats are biting my fingers, and all of a sudden, I know kung fu. I know how to stitch a weird leather fucking S&M outfit together.
Back and forth
I all of a sudden
all these-
I'm creating fucking shanks inside my gimp suit I happen to have. By the way, who the fuck just happens to have a goddamn plastic leather Cruella de Vil goddamn coat hanging around in their closet?
that she
No.
could make an entire outfit out of.
There has not been a good Catwoman.
I
That
think
looked
this
like a
is the
3/4,
good
not a full
Catwoman.
coat.
The original Catwoman was the best because she was just kind of horny and groovy.
Eartha
Like,
Kitt.
like she's just like, hey, Batman, I'll suck your dick and stop fighting crime for 30 minutes if you want to go into the bathroom. And then Bruce Wayne's coming out of the bathroom after doing a fucking bump, like, fuck it, let's go. Like, that was the original Batman.
in Nolan's trilogy, I do like the practicalness of Selena Kyle's Catwoman suit.
I like Selena Kyle in number 3. Wait, she's only in the third one, right?
Yeah, she's only in the third one.
I like her towards the end of the movie when they actually humanize her, when you see that she in fact does care about Bruce Wayne when she thinks he's dead. Like, the problem with her introduction is they focus too much on, like, she's a badass chick, and they don't humanize her right away, which to me is the biggest fault in any superhero movie. If you do not like Superman does not work unless you humanize him. Because without humanizing him, he's an alien being that can destroy Earth with his eyes. So, like, when you don't do that, when you make her just like, I'm just a thief and fuck you, and yeah, it's like, I don't really care about you. And then at the end of the movie, it's kind of like, okay, I get it. Like, it's all a facade. I don't know. There's something about that where I do feel like superhero movies need to do better with humanizing. Like, can anybody tell me anybody feels any sort of humanizing ever went on with Captain America? In my opinion, out of all of his movies, they gave him mono.
I feel closer to Thanos, to be honest with you. Than,
Like, he
Captain
doesn't
America.
show, Captain America doesn't, he doesn't, like, in any emotion he does show is in that, like, pick you up by your bootstraps sort of way. And it's fucking annoying. That's why nobody gave a shit about Quicksilver when he died in Avengers 2 or whatever the fuck his name was, because they didn't humanize him. They introduced him as a throwaway character.
Yeah, that's where you run into the Marvel problem if you have too many on-screen
Heroes.
comic characters, it's like, well, we got to choose. These ones are gonna be just fucking throwaways.
Yeah, and
we
that's
can't
why
pay all these guys. We gotta figure out
and-
who we're gonna get rid of.
and besides the awesome cinematography of it, Quicksilver in the X-Men franchise is really likable. He's funny. He's charming. The other one was like, oh, it's her Russian brother. Cool. Like, nobody gave a shit because they didn't let them care. They introduced him for just long enough where you can be like, oh, he died, that sucks. You know, when Robert Downey Jr. died, people cried. When Quicksilver died, they went to the bathroom during that scene. That's the difference.
I guess another question I want to ask you guys, just since we're reviewing a DC movie, do you have a favorite DC movie? Any movie?
I really think Aquaman is a really well done movie.
Yeah, I like Aquaman.
I think the action scenes in that movie are phenomenal. I do like the Snyder Cut, even though it's not technically a DC connected movie. It's just its own entity.
So that's my favorite.
I think that's probably the best. However, I am a big fan of Man of Steel. I'm not a
Superman fan, but Man of Steel.
I mean, when
give it to Man of Steel.
They do it right though, to where they build him up to, like, they don't start him. At first, he's like, I don't really want to use my powers, and then by the end of the movie, he's fucking slinging fucking trucks and gasoline tankers and shit, like. And they learned from, like, you remember the first Thor? I think that movie's boring as shit. I haven't seen it in a while, but it's just a weird plain desert landscape where you get to see CGI happening. Man of Steel did that as well. Desert open landscape, but it was fucking chaos. I mean, buildings in the small town are blowing up, that you have the guys attacking him. I don't know. Man of Steel is actually one of my favorites as well. It's a hard one.
I don't know if you can agree, but I feel like DC movies, in terms of like epicness, take it to a higher level than a Marvel movie does.
I would argue Marvel's Avengers does owe the credit to bringing that to, like, before the Avengers, you didn't, like, even when the X-Men tried, you get X-Men 3. Like, before, the X-Men 3 is arguably the most epic X-Men movie of them all, before the post-Avengers ones, but it's also the worst X-Men movie. So it's like, Avengers did introduce the world to, like, superheroes need to be this, man. It needs to be fucking big.
Yeah, for me, my two favorite DC movies are done by the same director, and it's Watchmen and the Snyder Cut.
Oh, fuck, that's right. Well, okay, Watchmen's my first then. I forgot about that. That's my first. Snyder Cut's probably 2 and Man of Steel 3. 2 and 3 can switch depending on the day.
When it comes to DC, I really did fucking like the TV show Doom Patrol.
I've heard good things about Doom Patrol.
It's really good.
It's really fucking entertaining, and it has action. It has all the entertainment, and it has the right amount of cheesiness, and it fucking keeps me entertained. I keep want to watch it over and over.
That's one Brendan Fraser, right?
Yeah, if you like
he's fucking great in it.
Umbrella Academy, you'll like Doom Patrol.
See, I want to watch Doom Patrol, but it is one of those shows that has been lost in the ether as I have interest in that. And then it's, I never watched that show.
Watch it on your own, man.
That's basically what's going to start happening. I got 5 days of no sleep coming up in January.
I still want to watch Titans. Because I like what I've seen of it so far, but I want to really go through it before it ends.
I don't know what it is, but the comic book TV shows they're hard for me to get into.
I do like The Boys.
It's not a knock on any show in particular. Even with The Boys, it's like I can get through a chunk, but it's
it's not a show where you can't binge the whole season. I agree with that.
And
it's because some of the stuff gets drawn out.
Yeah, it's like that when I've tried. But ironically, the dark irony in it is that the comic book shows where you have to stretch it out and they start doing the same things, that's as comic book as it gets.
Yeah,
it's true.
But I will argue Walking Dead is one of the biggest betrayers of that.
I think because you're watching it, though, it's more recognizable.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like there needs to be an understanding between the mediums. And there isn't. Like, comic books can't directly translate, because even when you do them right, a la Watchmen, you get shit on. Oh, it's too boring, and it's like, that's the problem. Is the consumers are the problem, and then the studio execs with overriding control are the problem. Like until consumers,
the fanboys are the problem either.
oh, they're the consumers, but also in the case of Watchmen, your average consumer is the problem too. It's a mix between the marketed it as an action superhero and the average consumer's ignorance. And then the fanboys are a whole different section of problem, because you have a movie like The Watchmen with its ultimate cut is basically the entire goddamn graphic novel come to life, and that's not good enough. There's too much of this and this. It's like, that's a big problem.
Comic book fans are awful, and if you think comic
The
book movie
worst.
fans are awful, try being in a comic shop reading floppies week to week, month to month, because it's just toxic environment.
I stopped going to comic shops because I couldn't stand hearing the conversations going on in them. I couldn't take it. And it happens with a lot of different communities. Like the wrestling community is the same, where they take a certain ownership and therefore they think their opinion is the end all be all. Like I've read every issue, and it's like, that doesn't make you creative. That doesn't mean you know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, your ideas are not that great always. You may have some good ones, but these fucking people, and I'm going to use this word being one of them, these fucking nerds that stand in these shops and debate, and it's like, well, his wing was broken, if you remember. It's like, dude, you're going to be broken. Like, fuck off.
I'm going to break you.
Like, I'm not a tough, like, I try to go through life without hating my day as much as possible. And when I come across that, it's like, you, sir, are the reason serial killers exist, because somebody came in contact with you and goes, you know what? That motherfucker's the last straw. I'm getting some tarps. Like, it's people like that create that sort of shit. That and manufacturing defects I've gone over before.
But I guess we should probably wrap up this one.
Easy for me. I give this a 4 out of 5. I like this movie. It's a fun movie. Also, had one of the best video games attached to it ever.
Oh, I agree.
Oh God, the Nintendo one.
Now the SNES and Genesis ones were different though. So it was the SNES version was one of were they different, or was that a different Batman title that was different? No, the SNES and Genesis were the same. They were the beat 'em up.
The beat 'em up, but the Nintendo one was the purple Batman where you're running through the side scroll.
NES one?
No, the NES one.
Oh no. But that was Joker Returns.
You're right. Okay, yeah.
Batman Returns came out on the SNES and Genesis.
That's right.
And it was hard as balls beat 'em up.
Yep.
That was unrelenting, but it had the dish, 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 dish sound effect every time you. One of the best video game adaptations ever.
It's amazing.
Yeah, Batman Returns for the SNES.
So good.
Yeah, I'll go next. This is easy 4 out of 5 for me as well. I do slightly like this one over the first one. I like this one a little better.
Yes, I agree.
That's not just because I'm the world's biggest Danny DeVito fan.
I like the Danny DeVitos from Throw Mamas from the Trains.
But I would be interested to see, you see like these movies where they bring a dead actor to life or whatever. This is a weird analogy, but I'd like them to almost do that with the set design of an old movie. Like, it would be cool to see a modern director create a movie looking like Batman Returns in that same style with the suit and all that, but like with modern actors, or just bring a new script up to today's date. I think something like, how cool would it be if Zack Snyder directed Batman Returns? Like, because he already does dark shit, and the world in both this one and the original 89 Batman, like, even though there's goofiness in the movie, like it feels like what you would presume Gotham City to look like.
All right, so
everything's dark, the color palette.
So this is something they can't and never will do, but it would be really neat if you took the original, 5 or 4 movies? 4?
Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin.
So 4.
I think it's just 4.
What if you took those and you had them remade with different directors, completely detached from the DCU universe?
Kind of
you
like
just
Masters
have them.
of Horror.
You have them do one shots.
Same actors, different directors.
You could if you want to do it that way. Although it's a little hard to do it now that way. But I'm talking same scripts, right? Same concepts, but with you give a director that with their visual flair, and you say stylistically you do it any way you want, but you're remaking the same movie. This isn't, you're remastering this movie, we'll call it, in your visual flair. I wonder how that would work out if you said we'll give 4 directors and we,
I would like that to see that for a bunch of movies.
Yeah,
just
wouldn't
to
it be
see,
neat?
like what it would turn out.
Like, even if you just let them do half-hour chunks. Like, as a film buff, take a half hour of your favorite of this movie. Like, okay, for instance, Steven Spielberg directing Full Metal Jacket. Like, shit like that. Because Steven Spielberg's done arguably one of the greatest war movies ever made. So it's like, like there's certain things that would be really neat just to see, like, and I'm sure there's a lot of directors out there. They're like, man, if I would have made that movie, I would have done this, I'd have done that. And I think that's a neat concept of like, that's more of like a TV or whatever series where it's each episode, one director remakes,
So
30 minutes of a movie.
What movie is Uwe Boll gonna get to redo?
He's going to actually star in it. It's going to be called Uwe Boll Gets Fist Fucked to Death.
But anyways, yeah, that's me. 4 out of 5.
I'll go next. For me, I'm going against you, both of you guys. It's a 3.5, only because of the cheesy shit. They could have cut out at least 10-15 minutes of the whole cheesy.
The man who likes the original Batman hates the cheese.
Well, because it's the Joker. So that for me, the Joker should have been fucking heavy cheese.
What if
I was talking about the original, like Adam West Batman, Vince Vaughn. Baby,
yeah.
He's like, come on, baby,
grab my belt buckle.
But the whole part of fucking Bruce Wayne sitting there, jamming the signal, and then playing the audio track back of Penguin fucking dissing the fucking Gotham, and then he starts going. He turned into fucking DJ Jazzy Jeff and shit. Fucking.
I like the reference too. Shit.
That was weird.
Fuck.
Are you watching fucking?
Don't ask me what the fuck she's watching. You're gonna act like I know. I don't fucking know, bro. I just heard the goddamn Star Spangled Banner in the living room. Good thing we have Apple TV. I just shut that shit off. I hope she's asleep.
But yeah, 3.5 for me.
I do love this movie. This one and the first one are one of my favorite Batmans out of all of them. So I'm going to go 4.5 on this one. I do enjoy this. I watched it twice, actually. I liked it so much.
I will say if you could take the fight choreography of Batman Begins and add it to this movie, it would be like the perfect Batman movie.
It would be awesome. Yes.
How old was Michael Keaton when he made this, though?
He had to be in his mid 30s at minimum. I mean, this was like 93, so I'd say
how old was
30s at least.
Oh my God, what's his face?
Danny DeVito?
No, not Danny
Christopher
DeVito.
Walken?
Yeah, how old was Christopher Walken?
78.
He's been the same age for 20 years.
One Christopher Walken movie I'd love to review is Seven Psychopaths.
I have to watch it. I've never seen that.
When was this movie made? You would love it. It's such a good fucking movie. And I'm not going to say anything about it because it is one of those movies where if you know anything, it may ruin it.
Do you have it on?
It's either
Voodoo?
iTunes or Vudu. It's one of them.
Because I'm off tomorrow and my wife is going away.
I'll double check.
So
I encourage you to watch it.
So when was Returns made? 99?
No, Returns is like
92,
92, yeah.
92.
Okay, so
Walken, Keaton got $10 million to come back for this film.
How much is he getting paid for The Flash? Who, Keaton or Walken?
Keaton was born in 51.
And this is 92?
So he was 40.
Yeah, that makes sense. He looks it.
He's always looked 70 to me.
No, Keaton was 40. How old is Walken?
Yeah. Oh, Walken.
Walken was born in like 1918 or some shit. he was born early enough where he knew women couldn't vote. He's old. I mean, yeah, he can dance in a Fat Boy Slim video. He's still old. What do you want me to say?
All right, so
I love that video. The video's amazing.
Walken was born in 43.
40. Well, so he's not even that much older than Keaton.
1843 though.
He's only 8 years 8 years older?
Yeah.
So Walken at this point was 48. He looked good for 48 though.
He did.
He was wrinkle
Holy
free.
shit.
He had the Doc Brown haircut, which throws it off a little bit.
In the movie, yeah.
I went to this guy for a haircut. His name was Brown. I don't know what the fuck happened, but
his son was the biggest fucking meathead in this movie.
Dude, why would they use Schwarzenegger's German stunt double to play an American accented line having actor? That is Schwarzenegger's. That is his stunt double. his workout partner. How the fuck they put him in the role where literally when you hear him say anything, he says a word that's M.A., and you hear the German in his voice. Go back and listen just to that part when he walks in and he says whatever he says. You could hear his German accent in it. It's like, why the fuck would you give the steroid the line? Like the German steroid. I think he's also the guy that gets killed in The Running Man, where they put Schwarzenegger's face on him. The one that Jesse the Body Ventura kills in real life. Pretty sure it's the same guy.
He plays one of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface.
It has to be a newer one, or maybe number 3 or some shit.
2003.
Oh, the beginning? Because he wasn't the one from the good one. Wait, the good one.
2006.
No, the good one was 2003. Was that wasn't
2003
him,
and 2006?
Yeah, beginning was 2006, I believe.
He was in both 2003 and 2006.
So he was in the good one. He was Leatherface. All right, everybody gave their hot dogs, Christmas dogs. Yep. By the way, we haven't said it. This is the Christmas episode, so if you celebrate that sort of thing, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
This should be out. I'll be releasing this on Christmas Eve.
Another holiday.
I think Hanukkah just passed.
Go fuck yourself.
Yep, Hanukkah's over. Yep.
Happy Hanukkah.
I am a Festivus for the rest of us kind of guy. So.
Krampusnacht.
So actually, on the stream, there's a guy from the Netherlands that was telling me about their version of Santa Claus, and it's very close to Dwight Schrute's version of Santa Claus.
Yeah, I remember that.
Where he comes down and he lives in the town for a month, and judges all the boys and girls. And if you're good, you get a toy, and if you're bad, you get put in a sack and taken away.
So he just bums out for a month?
Just fucking literally gets his sandals on and just goes to the 7-Eleven every day, stays in his motel, and just watches the fucking townsfolk.
Probably got
That's crazy. That would make a good horror movie.
That's what I was telling him. I would love to make a horror movie out of the story. Because
the
whole movie could literally be Santa Claus stalking children in the streets at night and killing the bad guys. Yeah, I know. We should make a movie. Anyways, we'll be right back, mother effers. When you get some silence, buddy. Or if you want to go, I don't give a fuck. It's a train.
All right, we're back. Bitches, leave.
Bitches, leave.
Second movie is the Advent Calendar.
Ooh, is this a chocolatey wonderful movie? That's not the same calendar from the movie. That's a delicious gingerbread man one.
Which is a Shudder exclusive. I didn't look up anything on this movie, like as far as information, because I think it's French, and I can't pronounce any of the actors' names, the director. I can't find any information, but it's on Shudder.
All there is reviews.
And if you haven't seen, or if you don't have Shudder, they offer. We've said it.
Get it already! Fuck.
They do free trials. They do month-long trials.
You got how many movie subscriptions? It's $5 a month or something like that. Fuck off and sign up.
Not even. It's you could do. What is it? 60 a year?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
really?
$60 for a year.
Yep.
That's $5 a month.
Yep.
According to IMDb.
Thanks, Giovanni, for backing my point up. He just, or 60 a year. I will convert that for you.
Matt threw out that reel and just has to do it.
I did the math in my head, and I'm like, am I the asshole? Like, how does that work? Like, what happened? Everybody laugh.
I don't even know how to fucking follow up.
Back to
IMDb has it for gross worldwide so far for $183,000.
Rubies. We got some pocket change from one of these people that left it under the cushion.
So worldwide, yeah.
How many?
183,000.
I mean, it's not bad for. I mean, it must have released like in a small independence in France or international.
Calculating profit for like stream exclusives is I don't know. I don't even know where they begin to do that.
Also, how many theaters are open overseas? You know, are they all open?
No, and if you're Disney, the calculation, no matter what it is, it's fuck Scarlett Johansson at the end.
Right, I'm still laughing at Giovanni with the fucking.
If I am 5 feet tall and there's 12 inches in a foot.
God damn it.
It's okay. You went to Chicago public school.
It's funny because in my head I
CPS?
was like, $5 a month, but it's only $60 a year.
Yes, they're
Sounds
totally
about
giving
right.
Giovanni. So
That's
the
a
whole
really
time Giovanni's
cool-
been signing up for a good deal in his mind,
Yeah.
and now he's like, "Well, god damn it,
So,
Some bitch.
some bitch, I'm getting fucked."
So this movie, I had seen like the trailers for it because I follow like the Shudder Facebook page and on Instagram. I was too stupid to realize it was not an American movie, which I do a big cinema no where like if I realize a movie has subtitles, instantly my reaction is like, am I gonna make time to watch this?
Yeah.
Which is not fair because there's a lot of really good like Korean movies and shit like that.
Name one.
Big Trouble Little. No, just kidding.
That's a Michael
No,
Douglas.
yes,
movie.
The Gum Gum Hotel that we watched. What was it?
I mean, any of them.
Bunjim
There's a lot of.
Haunted Asylum.
Yeah.
That one was good.
Dungeon
I will
Haunted
argue, Train to Busan is probably the best Korean.
Oh,
horror
yes,
film for a while.
yes.
Not
I
the
still have
sequel.
not seen
Train
that
to
one.
Busan. Sequel's good. Train to Busan's, I mean, quite a,
And the
one of the
person
best
who-
zombie movies to come out in a long
The
time.
person who directed Train to Busan directed the Hellbound show that I'm watching on Netflix.
Really? Now, is that
Okay.
live action or animated?
Live
It's
action.
live action.
I'm interested now.
But I was hesitant to watch this one, but I'm glad I did. And I watched it with Shay. It's funny because all of us do this thing where like our barometer of like if a movie is interesting if our wife paid attention.
Yeah.
We'd always be like, my wife
Yeah,
actually
even
liked this
she
one."
enjoyed
Yeah.
this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I mean the entire time we were talking the whole time watching the movie because we were so invested in like the mechanics of the advent calendar and how it worked.
Well, the way they film it is interesting because do you remember there was like it's happened in video games, namely Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain, where Control has that. Alan Wake has it to a certain point where like when they're showing the creature, it's almost like it's in its own dimension, almost like like a cabin in the woods or a 13
Okay.
Ghosts sort of presentation where it's like presenting itself to you, which is supposed to be the camera, but it's really just kind of it's showing you nowhere. This thing just exists and it appears. And I did like that, where it was like you got those glimpses of it basically just standing in the darkness waiting for you to break the rules. It was
Like
an
the part
interesting.
in the car where the hand just comes from the back. And
Yeah, it's always there ready
can
to kill
You
you.
can
In the
see the
back,
face
yeah.
coming up, though.
Yeah.
That was the craziest part. You could see the face in the back.
And I like the introduction of the
comes around.
creature too, because the minute she turned the key the first time, boom, you see it. But
Yeah,
you don't know where it is.
the
Yeah,
only
it's
the
like
only
instant,
scene
like,
I didn't
need to know now.
the only
Yeah.
scene I didn't like was when they killed the dude in the car crash scene. Just the way it was filmed, it was very American Werewolf in Paris.
Yeah, it was.
Not to its fault. I just don't dig the way that scene was filmed. But the concept of her, and this is we talked about this and earlier, and I hate to go to the ending, but I don't know what happens to her at the end, and is one of the most intriguing parts of it is they don't tell you. And I would love to kind of like whether it works its way into a sequel. Hell, I think a smart way to go about this is start doing short stories of 15, 20 minutes long and release them in blurbs on Netflix here and there of her, like wherever she's at and you know, like shit like that or something. But, yeah, they don't really explain the full mechanics of it. You get the base understanding of if you try to throw it away, it'll kill you. If you don't eat one of the chocolates, it'll kill you. And you have to follow the rules until you open the last door, otherwise it'll kill you. Which does make the very ending where she does open it and swimmer dude does tell her correctly, and I mean he must have just smoked a J and then was like
That's what I'm saying. Like, 'cause he's an
like,
idiot, and he's
it-
the one who figures it out.
yeah, and but they don't even really tell you if she eats it or not, do they? Don't
Well,
definitively?
he's not really an idiot. He's just a person that when he met her, he seemed like he was an idiot because how he
He's a
how he
good
reacted to
listener.
her.
Also, I
how
want to
he
say
reacted
this:
to her status.
it's kind of shitty of her just to assume he has no interest because she's a paraplegic. Like, not, and I don't mean to be like, yeah, crippled person, how dare you, you know, be mad because people treat you like shit. but like she
He
did.
just may have been caught off guard.
She judged him way more than he judged her in their first interaction.
It's just rude. It's rude. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Like,
doesn't matter disability or not. It's just rude.
he was completely friendly with her. You could see in his face when he saw, he was like, "Oh, okay," but it wasn't like ill. It was like processing. Oh, I see what's going on here.
Yeah,
He wasn't
and
off-put by it.
He wasn't like Lieutenant Dan. You
Yeah.
got legs.
He he didn't look at her like, "Oh, you're one of them, huh?" Like even as she walked or rolled away, even as she went away from the scene, he looked at her like, "No, no." And it's like, and then like the first meeting they have after that, it's hey, I'll get your chair for you. Like I do find some of the scenes funny where like he's like, "I'm a nurse, so I could wash your privates." After she said that to herself, I do like kind of her dehumanizing, like dark sense of humor about herself. I do appreciate that with the character because that's realistic. Like somebody who was a dancer and is now like lost everything and is in a paraplegic because of an accident. Like the fact that she carries
really
herself,
friend.
Yeah, carries herself around. Yeah, where it comes out that she was responsible for it. Then you don't feel so bad about her death.
No.
Her German whatever friend who gave her the goddamn death trap.
She stole it.
Let's talk about her boss though.
Humped through a door.
Seriously,
God.
like if that's how it is in France, let's take the Me Too movement over there, huh?
First of all, let's fucking slap the hair off his fucking head.
I was glad.
You talking about Ron Jeremy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Russian Ron Jeremy. There's time for diplomacy. Every Frenchman sounds like that to me. Just walks around declaring things. I would like a corn dog. Like, just all right, buddy. You can have a fucking corn dog. Put your blue suit away.
Didn't the new receptionist kind of resemble Tony Soprano's sister?
Yes, and that was a fucked up scene when she rips apart the fucking doll.
Yeah.
Like, it got to the point where the toenails started to get ripped off, and I'm like, ooh, okay.
Anytime they show a scene and anything to do with like in this one, it was the toenail in the Grudge, I believe. It's in the video. They stick a nail through the finger.
Also, you remember in Stir of Echoes when she grabs the ground and her nails peel off her fingers? Yep.
Now, my daughter, my eldest, is a ballerina, and she is she's in point. So every now and then her toenails get really fucked up. So the big toe has already been removed twice.
The whole toe.
The toenail.
I know.
So they've had to actually remove the toenail twice.
Her feet look like a retired boxer.
I mean, seriously, her
feet
feet shouldn't be in the same shape as Chris Benoit's brain. Like, get her into a different sport.
I watched a doctor remove her toenail, and I was just like, "This is fucking nuts." And I took pictures, and I sent.
What's kind of funny is you've also watched a doctor remove her in general.
Oh yeah.
The way you think of, you've seen her been removed several times by different objects.
Yeah.
Once was when she was a born.
When I got slapped by the other doctor, fucking don't help.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit is in 4K, by the way.
Where the fuck is that going from?
Does that have to do with birthing a child?
So like when you they say when you die, a bunch of neurons flare off, and you can say like as you slip away.
This is Matt dying.
I'm wondering because that thought just popped into my brain. I don't smell burning or popcorn.
Look.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
You smell toast?
That was the most
Scrambled eggs
thing ever.
Yeah, that's
Can you imagine Matt on his deathbed and the doctor's like, Jen, your husband's trying to say something, and she leads in and he's like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is on 4K.
So
we're out of corned beef hash. It's like you're dying. Don't worry about it.
What I like though is if we didn't call that out, Matt's brain would have been like, "This is fine."
No, my brain probably would have skipped another beat to another movie, or I would have. Yeah, no. So that really is like when people. So I do feel in today's society that some people use certain disabilities and mental illnesses as scapegoats. Like it's really easy for somebody to go, I can't do this because I have anxiety. But some of those people have never actually felt real anxiety, and like people like us who have. It's kind of annoying because, like, when I say I have ADD and dyslexia, I truly do. So, like, some of the jokes that you guys can riff on me come from my straight-up dyslexia. And some of them come like that one right there from my straight up ADD. And it's fucking hilarious because that's unfortunately how my brain works. Like, that is why you guys will see 10 different movies have been started overnight. That is why Alex will see me logging on to 6 different games in a 10-minute period on Steam. It is a terrible fucking just where like your brain goes from like, I'm relaxed, I'm gonna do this, to like, don't want to do that. And then it's like, it's almost like think of it as like your phone and you're flipping through the pages and it's like, nope, okay. Nope, not anymore. Nope. And it can be to the point where literally I just get to the goddamn studio's logo and I'm like, not this movie anymore. And I fucking move on. It's terrible.
That's why PC people who say you can't make fun of people annoy me, because people with real mental illness like me find the mental illness I have fucking hilarious.
Especially when it's somebody, and you can tell when somebody's making a joke and they suffer from those sorts of things and it's pure truth. It's a joke, but it's also that person going, this is my day-to-day, this is how I feel. And you can tell when it's just somebody going, hey, fucking retard. Like, you could tell the difference. And I think when it's comedy from somebody, especially who actually has it, which I'd imagine most people who venture into the stand-up comedian realm are pretty fucked up and have some level of that.
Oh yeah.
So
absolutely.
Like that's what I think the audiences don't understand with that sort of thing in general is like, when these people make these jokes, when I make these jokes, when Lewis, when Giovanni, when Alex, we make these jokes as people who have these issues. So it's like for us, it's a part of the way of venting. It's a part of the way of dealing with it, where it's like, if I don't my choices are make a joke out of it and move on with my day, or curl into the ball and get the sweet, sweet taste of the steel in my mouth tomorrow morning. Those are the choices. Like, so
don't confuse it with everybody, because I've seen people confuse it with, for example, you can tell when somebody's making a joke about a certain illness
or suicide, like I just did.
Exactly. Who's never experienced it themselves.
Oh yeah.
Like,
and that's when it's like fake.
Tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can tell. It's
well, that's
very
because those jokes usually are about anxiety, about like anxiety normal people or people that have anxiety don't think about. It's like, I had so much anxiety about what shoes to wear. And it's like, really? Because I had anxiety about the fact that when I woke up, I had a hiccup and I thought maybe I was going to die. And then I thought, well, my dog's going to die one day. I started to get sad from that. And then I remembered I had to pay this bill. How much is in the account? I have to go to the bathroom. Fuck, what am I streaming today? How's Jen doing? Let me text her. Okay, cool. 5 minutes later.
That's anxiety DDD.
That's
anxiety.
That's when anxiety is waking up with a panic attack, which I do quite a few mornings. I wake up with a panic attack to the point where it's an instant up, like the type of wake up that you only see in like space movies where the shields are going down because shit's getting hit and Kirk fucking wakes up like, what the fuck was that? That's how I wake up most fucking days. And then that goes into the ADD thought process of like and then on top of it, I don't sleep well. So the fogginess in my brain is fighting the ADD of like, I can't focus on a thought for 2 different fucking reasons and they're battling. And it's like, those morning shits are terrible.
I could just picture Matt freaking out in the basement. And his brother's like, what the fuck is this problem? And Jen's like, don't worry, the shields are going down. It's fine.
And I do, like, especially when I do take a time to cool off. Like, I am one of those people that, like, in the heat of it, it's just like, oh, fucking cut your head off. And then, like, I go away for 10 minutes. And it's like, I didn't mean to say that. I wouldn't cut your head off. Like, it's that sort of shit. Mm-hmm. I am one of those people that just, like, as soon as it's
fingers off.
As soon as it's
head off.
With your fingernails. As soon as it's de-escalated, like I feel immediate regret and immediately like you're a cocksucker, man. Because like whether you're justified or not, if you get angry at people you love, and it's like it never feels good. Like no matter how that turns out, there's always a like, God damn it, I can't believe I was, even if you're right, it's like cocksucker, man. But anyways, back to this movie. She kills her dog. Yeah. They do it off screen though, which I do appreciate. I hate animal murder in movies, even when justified. Not that I'm not going to watch it because they fucking cut his head off. I just not a big fan of it.
Killed Cujo.
do what you're gonna do to it. It's just meh. So I do appreciate that they don't do it on screen, and they do it in a way that does work as like you could show how much it's traumatizing her.
This is actually the scene.
Whereas it just it's a different angle, but they just kind of zoom in on her like post killing the dog, like holding the knife.
Two off-screen deaths. It was the dog and the boss.
Her friends after that are like, "You just murdered your dog. Hey, come with us on a retreat.
We're gonna help you get rid of the dog. Come to the
I'd have been like,
woods with us.
Hey, you figure your stuff out by yourself with your broken legs. I'm gonna go somewhere else."
Well, I think this movie does do a really good job of exploiting the idea of her loneliness because she's isolated from the world and they show her out and about in the world, but it still does show that she's basically disconnected from everybody besides one friend because her former life can't possibly be what it was before.
And
her friend is guilty. Her friend feels guilty the entire time,
which is potentially why she still comes
was the
around.
one driving. Yeah,
and you can see this actor, the one who plays the main character, the one who plays the paraplegic,
Eve or whatever.
She does a very good job expressing her disconnect in the real world when she's in the real world, and I think that helps.
I will say,
the story along real well.
If this was America, right, and your boss, after you got into an accident and became paralyzed, told you, "I had to shell out that money for you, that bigger bathroom, and you need to sell more," sued. Like that's and that's where I don't. And here's my thing: like, if that's how it is in France, or maybe this is just a really dark depiction to show the worst of the worst. But if that's how the real world is over there for women and shit like that, like, why aren't we attacking that? Like, we go after things in the U.S. pretty heavily. But if this is what's really going on, like, this is a problem. This is true inequality. Like, let's talk about that. But once again, it could just be them going, no, we have to show her boss. They have to justify the dog slaughtering him somehow, so he's a piece of shit. Which is, I think, the truth of it.
But that was the one weakness for the movie for me. I felt like the boss was too much of an over-the-top caricature.
Like, not realistic, like, not in today's society type, Yeah. I would agree.
But didn't one of you call him a Ron Jeremy type character?
Oh, man. Have you seen the court photos of him? Just looking like a slump of perverted potatoes? He just looks terrible. He's going to die soon, I tell you.
He deserves whatever he gets, man.
I 100% agree. But once again, just like Marilyn Manson, why is anyone surprised the piece of shit is a piece of shit? Right. Okay? Like, I'm sorry, but a spade is a spade. Manson never said like, Ron Jeremy at least hid his piece of shitness, right? He was the nice porn guy. He was on Celebrity Surreal Life and had a contract with VH1 for half a decade. Manson at least came out and was just like, yeah, you wanna know how I'm a piece of shit? Bible cha. And like, if you read his lyrics, you can't be surprised he's a piece of shit. Once again, burn him down. I don't give a fuck. He's garbage. But can we stop acting so like, Marilyn Manson's garbage? What? Like, come on. Like, stop being surprised that Kanye is a blowhard. This is who they are. And you've given them power by buying their shitty shoes and their music. Like, if you ingested any of their entertainment, we're all at fault. Stop being blind. Except Manson's last, like, every album. Fucking what is it? American Antichrist? That's his greatest.
The first one?
Yeah, that's his greatest album.
No, it was like the second one.
He had a demo, and then he had that weird industrial one produced by Reznor.
Yeah.
Antichrist Superstar was produced by Reznor as well.
I did like sedate the children. I did like whatever it's called.
That album actually, if you're okay with if you're like okay with electronica Manson, it's a pretty decent album.
That's what I'm saying.
For a fucking rapist piece of shit. I guess we got to say that to make sure we don't get canceled.
To Anthony's point, though, about the character of the boss being too over the top, what pulled me out of this movie and what I wish there was a little bit more of, a police investigation with all these murders. Like, I wish there was just a little bit more of just in the background. Maybe somebody asked her some questions like, hey, you know this person.
But that does
it was almost 2 hours long. So
but but you can argue the mythos of the Advent calendar, right?
That's
If-
true.
If the
Or we
Advent
get
calendar is an ever-encompassing swallowing of entities, right? Theoretically, every body it claims is then swallowed by the Advent calendar, and no proof is ever found. I mean, they do find the one guy that gets in the car wreck, though.
Yeah, they find him
Yeah.
in the car wreck. But I
He's
think
actually in the news
But
and
here's the
everything.
thing: is it all in her head? Then there is that concept too. This movie's so
Well,
ambiguous at the end
If
that
we
like
go,
there's a Matrix syndrome to it. There's a Jumanji syndrome to it, where it's like, take the blue pill, bitch, go back to Happy Land. You'll be paralyzed, but your family and friends will be here. By the way, the scene with the father explaining to her that the sacrifices will be needed was
Yeah.
downright fucking creepy, was it not?
yeah,
I think it was meant to be.
Like that, like they did a really good job of getting the point across that motherfucker's possessed right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
the
did a really good
mother-in-law I wanted to shoot in the head.
Oh my god.
Was that
yeah.
was it, so? It was his actual wife. It wasn't just a caretaker.
No, that was
no, that was
that
a
was
caretaker.
his that was his that was his wife.
I did
She
not.
said,
know
I
that.
am married to your father.
Yeah.
And because she's like, you're selling the house.
Oh.
She's like, yes, it's my house too.
Okay.
He doesn't remember anything. I'm married to him. I think that's his
Oh,
second
that's
wife,
right,
though.
that's right.
I don't think that's her
I mean,
mother.
does she
No,
now?
it's
Now
not.
here's the thing: is she's
Yeah.
not. She's an older gal. He doesn't appear to be super rich, right? So like, does she have credence? Like, you don't know how long she's been married to him. You don't know how long she's been taking care of him with his disease. There is a certain level of acceptability in a form of like fed up, where I would understand basically she's just waiting for him to go.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
she's a
That
total
weird
bitch to the
hair
daughter
Very-
too. Like
yeah,
that
yeah.
first
It's
phone
not her
call
mom, yeah.
where she's like,
Mhm.
I want to speak to my
I
father.
have things to do.
Why? It's my birthday. He's like, he doesn't remember you anyway. So why would he remember it's your birthday? I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, that's rough. Like,
I did find it very interesting. It was almost like the Advent calendar tried to give her good moments, but then corrupted them. Like almost like him, the father calling to wish happy birthday, and then him remembering it towards the end, but he's only remembering it because he didn't call, the entity called the whole time. It's almost like, yeah, I'm giving you what you want, but I'm really pulling the strings. There's a weird like, and that's all part of this.
I'm gonna
It's
give you a little bit just to get you there.
yeah, it's like
Never take it
well,
away.
it's like everything when you think about like genies. Genies, you get your wish, but there's always a caveat. Like this is very much
Depending
like
on how you say
you
it.
get your treat, but there's a caveat to each thing. Like yes, you get the power to walk now, but we just killed your best friend and another
Like the
dude, and then the
monkey's
guy you
paw.
were fucking. Yeah, much like the monkey's paw. There's always this is a perfect Shudder product. Now, I do wonder. Have we given too much away? Should we rate it and get
You've
the
given
fuck
it all
out?
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
We
'Cause
forgot to say
I mean-
spoiler alert at the
I mean,
beginning.
Yeah, definitely. Even just for the concept alone, like watch this movie if you're looking for something kind of new in horror.
I would argue that some parts of it are not horror and much more psychological drama slash
Yeah,
thriller.
it's a
Yeah.
psychological thriller type deal.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's do. Oh, sorry. You had a point, Giovanni, as you cleared your fucking throat.
yes, I did.
Please do.
And I
Please
I
do.
forgot it.
Oh.
No. No.
So back to the Mummy.
I will say the creature effects in this are pretty badass.
Yeah, they're not bad.
Yeah, they're
was
really nice.
I wasn't really
Mhm.
sure what the creature was supposed to be, which I kind of like. Like they
Yeah,
didn't
it's
really
super
they
mysterious.
didn't give you a reason for what it was or what it was just the thing that comes for you when you break the fucking rules. And I
Yeah.
dug that whole I like the whole scene where it drowns the dude. It's out in the fucking open at a dock drowning the motherfucker. It's like, whoa.
Well, I
Dude,
also-
where it comes up to her and when she's in the pool, she comes out in the lake and she
Yeah.
crawls out of the water and it's just fucking walking up to her like, hey, what's up?
But it's basically like
I'm
I
gonna
got
take you home now.
I got your
It
advent
brings her home.
calendar.
It
Don't
brings her
worry
home.
about it. This guy tried
Yeah.
to dump it on you, this piece of shit. Don't worry about it. I got you, bae. It's like, do you have my back
the,
or
the initial rules they read off to her too, which doesn't translate as well because the one line is dump it and then you'll die.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't know if it was a translation thing or if it was deliberate, but when she goes, I will kill you, and then she goes, Ish. Now, I think they did that on purpose because Ish means I in German, but it's also a name in German. And I think that was the whole thing is it wasn't I, the character and the monster's name was Ish.
Ish.
Which
Yeah.
which I do wonder if in Germanic folklore there is some character with the first name Ish that they drew this from.
Mm.
I have to look into that. I don't know for sure, but I think that was the reason why she goes, "I will kill you. If you dump it, I will kill you." And the woman corrects her, and she goes, "Ish." I think there's a reason for that. They don't,
Yeah, because she does point that out very hard.
and that's
in
the last
beginning.
time you hear about it. And then you see it. It's written "Ish" on the back of the dude that pops up from the box.
And you're talking about the bad friend, right? That read it.
Yeah, that is the reason
Yeah.
she's paralyzed,
Yeah.
and the reason why this horrible curse
She
was
is
brought
a
upon
fucking
her.
horrible fucking friend. Sorry, I just gotta say it.
Also, like your friends in
Again.
the other room, all depressed, and it's like, let's go fuck.
Yeah, or let's go out to a bar and then, oh, did you think he was cute? Yeah, oh, yeah. He's taking me home.
By the way, I brought
what
you
the
back to
fuck
my
just happened?
my pelagic friend, depressed friend that I. By the way, I call. Okay, so real quick, I paralyzed her, and she's in the other room.
Yeah.
You want to go fuck? Like that's literally the situation.
Yeah,
All right.
fucking horrible ass friend.
Now remember, these are special Christmas hot dogs. New recipe, everybody.
Oh no.
We're gonna stick with the gingerbread bun. We're gonna have a vegetarian eggnog Twinkie for the center.
Ugh.
We're
What
gonna
is wrong with
we're gonna go ahead and ice that with some buttercream icing. Christmas, you know the flakes that basically they're glass if they
They
fly
get
into
stuck
the
in
air?
your teeth, yeah, and nobody likes.
good.
All
Original
over the
shit
top
when
of
he's
them. Okay, so that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Let's give them Alex my delicious Christmas dog recipe. How many?
All right. So I don't know about your recipe, but I did really like this movie. It had its slow moments, but it wasn't horrible. I'm gonna go with a 4 for this. The friend being a piece of shit that caused her paraplegic
Whoa!
status.
You're right.
What?
He was a piece of shit.
Yeah, oh yeah, she was. And then the way she went through her whole little mental break stages of the whole thing, I was okay with how it took time to get through the days. I was reading reviews afterwards. I watched the movie about how people were so upset about how long it took for her to get through the days. It's a fucking advent calendar. You got to fucking go through it.
Well, the movie's 2 hours and 6 minutes long, right?
No, it was an hour and 44, wasn't it?
Okay, hour and 44, and there's 24 days in the calendar. That's what, less than 4 minutes a day or something.
And they
like that?
skip 4 days.
Yeah, let's skip 4 days.
Well, she blacks out for 4 days.
Well, it skips 4 days.
She
because,
sleeps for 4 days.
She took the timer.
Yeah, she took the timer and skipped 4 days.
Which is pretty crazy. Like, why is the advent calendar
So-
choose your own adventure?
But the way people were complaining about how it was so long and drawn out, I didn't really see that myself.
I'm glad I avoided reviews now.
Yeah,
Well, I read the reviews after I saw the movie, so I didn't go into it first, and
I don't want to because I hate disagreeing with shit. Because
Yeah.
it's like, no, you're wrong, and then it becomes, no, you're wrong. Click, clickety, clack, and I just,
But I like the itch. I like how they displayed him. I liked how he came out, and I was corrected earlier, but he was Pyramid Head. I got that feel like he was like a Silent Hill fucking character. So I like how that worked, and yeah, it's a 4 for me.
Giovanni,
next?
I want to know
I'll
how
go
many
next.
you're
Yeah,
giving
I'll
it.
go next. I'm gonna give it a 4 as well. I did really like this movie. I enjoyed it. I like the lore on it. It left. It was a little bit too ambiguous in the end. It's a lot of questions. But I do like that it left it where you can kind of come to your own conclusions. But I don't like when movies leave me with more questions than answers. The filming of transitional scenes are amazing in this movie, where it goes from a dream she has to like reality. But there are some scenes where it doesn't cut away, like from the accident in the car. Finishes with her staring out the window. When she's going to her bed in one scene, it shows the lights coming, like a car's coming towards
yeah,
her.
it's at the very beginning.
And it kind of stops. I do love that.
Also,
that was before she got the fucking advent calendar, wasn't it?
Yeah.
She
Also,
still has,
this movie's mostly, if not all, practical effects, which I thought was pretty neat.
Yes. And coming from us of our generation, if you honestly have never watched a movie, a classic movie with practical effects, this is a very good version of a new movie that does practical effects from our childhood movies. I think it's way better than any CG, and I do enjoy it quite a bit. So it's a 4 out of 5 for me.
Christmas dogs.
Of those
Christmas dogs.
Now
nasty
describe the
Christmas
hot dogs like how Matt did.
No, that's disgusting. Those are gross.
Lewis,
So,
you go ahead, my lover.
I'll go next. This is also going to be a 4 out of 5 for me. Mainly because it's a pretty refreshing concept in horror that I've never seen done before.
It's almost like like Malignant that didn't go off the fucking rails.
Yeah. Which I mean, even as crazy as Malignant was, to have that something new, like I like that directors are doing that. Sometimes they're like a fucking dog chasing an ice cream truck.
True.
Isn't James Wan the director of Malignant?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's doing Aquaman too.
Yeah.
He did the first one. The
yeah,
first. That's why I said
Aquaman
he's
as well.
got an eye for action too. I actually think Aquaman's one of the better products.
Sorry to go off there, but go ahead.
But I really like the main actress in this movie. I think this movie does a really good job, which Matt kind of mentioned earlier, of portraying like a darker outlook on dark outlook on life she has from having suffered this thing, whether it's like mental illness or a disability or something. Usually in most movies the character's like a sappy, like sad piece of shit, when in reality that's not you. Like, you have your good days where like you don't care, like life doesn't matter, but you still function.
Yeah, most normal people don't get a choice to shut down. So the ones that don't shut down go through their life, and if they're not happy, or at least for a period of time while they adjust, or however they, until their life, whatever, they're not happy. And she is like, her situation is like, I guess I should wake up today.
Yeah, and it continues through the whole movie, even as she's contemplating making these dark choices. She still kind of just has this like fucked up mentality of like, I do it or I don't. And that doesn't translate really well in a lot of movies, and I think it does really well here.
I mean, at a certain point, she
maybe
definitely
because
accepts it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe it also translated well because it's also a foreign film, and we're not used to their shooting style and their dialogue. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I as far as the ambiguous, like, I'm okay with the way this movie ends. I like I do like when a movie's ambiguous to the point of making me think for the sake of wanting to think. Like, what if it's this?
I was gonna say that too. Yeah,
I don't like what's ambiguous to the point of making me try to find an answer or a reason.
You got to fill in the gaps for it.
Yeah, makes sense.
This wasn't that.
Yeah,
like, so no police investigation. What the fuck?
Yeah. But again, this movie plays fast and loose with the lore of the Advent calendar.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is truly like such an original concept. So yeah, it's easy 4 out of 5 for me, of those nasty ass soggy fucking hot dogs.
Whatever.
They're not soggy, dude. The gingerbread has a crunch to it, right? The eggnog think of it as the consistency of cookie dough
into the gingerbread, and
like it's the consistency of cookie dough, right? So then when you fold it all together with the icing and everything, it's more like a gingerbread cream sandwich than a hot dog. But it's shaped like a hot dog. You guys don't have any taste buds. I want to be different than everybody, so I'm going with a 3.9 3/4. No, I'm gonna go with a 4. I really like this movie. I thought there's no movie's perfect, so it's like, it's really ignorant to be like, well, I didn't like this scene and blah blah blah. You got to kind of take it as a whole, and I think this movie definitely does a hell of a lot more things right than it does wrong. I am not a big fan of how ambiguous this movie is. I think the ending because I don't feel the ending's concrete at all, which is, I understand it's part of the allure and it sets up potential sequel and really nice. But as of for right now, as a just all-encompassed movie-going experience, to me, it is one of those things of, if she's alive or dead, is now I have to fill in the gap problem. Now I have to think of scenarios which then leads to, like, what is the actual lore of the Advent calendar? Because that, as you said, was so loose that this is a movie that unfortunately does trickle down a line of questioning in my brain where the ADD kicks in. It's like, but now, wait a second, okay, and then Now I'm filling things in. With that said, for what is in the screen in the movie, I really liked. I thought it was really well done. I thought the acting was really well done. The small cast that it had. I thought the main actress was pretty incredible. She was really good. Easy 4 of these delicious Christmas sandwich things for me out of 5. And with that said, I want everybody to just remember the recipe. Try them.
And never eat it.
Remember, if you don't like it, I didn't come up with that recipe.
But also remember that Who Framed Roger Rabbit is on 4K.
It is, and I'm gonna watch it soon, and that's why it came in my head, because I was like, I kind of want to watch that movie. Either way, we'll be back with the next review is probably gonna be quite quick. It's a movie that's not typically something we would end the episode on. However, we want to go, Batman Returns is goofy, serious. Advent calendar is serious, so we're gonna go lighthearted and baby. So we'll be what is it? What is the? That's what he says in Swingers when he's like, "Oh, my little babies, my babies are here. The babies are," and it's like, Swingers is not as good as Made. I don't give a fuck what people say. Made is a much better written movie. Anyways, we'll be right.
All right, last movie before we part ways with you gents for Christmas.
Mass suicide for Christmas. What it is?
We pulled a Nerdattude first of choosing a positive movie to end on, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely against the status quo.
I know. Usually we start happy and we just get depressed as
we try to emulate life as best as possible.
Yeah,
and it's a fucking Vince Vaughn movie.
Babies.
But is it really?
I will say though,
happy?
I will say, and I Anthony, you weren't on, but I did tell Matt and Alex this movie proved to me that Vince Vaughn was good in this movie. I did like this movie, but it proved to me that Vince Vaughn, there are movies made for Vince Vaughn's acting, and then Vince Vaughn is not good in every movie he's in.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, I would say not every movie fits his style. Like, not necessarily that he's bad in the movie, but like current Vince Vaughn's different. He's kind of taken a serious curve in his career. Mm-hmm. But yeah, old school Vince Vaughn, I think the thing about it is he does him in every movie. So like, there's just certain movies that he doesn't fit into. Like, I like him though. So I like a lot of his, but like, I love fucking Dodgeball.
Oh, Dodgeball is another great one.
Giovanni liked this movie because of his initial character as Brad in the beginning of the movie. Giovanni's like, hell yeah, tell that woman.
No.
He's like, I love Brad.
If I ever said that to my wife, she would fucking kill me.
Seriously, what kind of sick, demented fucking life do you have where it's like, hey, bitch, in the middle of a fucking bar and that turns you on? Like, you got some daddy issues.
Which I'll agree with Matt. Current Vince Vaughn is very different, but Freaky shows that like he still got it.
Freaky was another good one.
Vince Vaughn needs a AAA resurgence in a well-written rated R comedy. He can't act like he's 25 anymore, but he also got in that, like, by the way, I love, one of my favorite movies is The Watch with him and Jonah Hill and Ben Stiller. And he's great in that movie, dude. He is great in that. If you've not seen that, Giovanni.
And Richard Ayoade is in that.
Amazing. He makes the movie. Let's be real. You know,
I'm gonna watch that.
The Watch.
It's
that's where they get together and they're
it's in the Costco with the aliens.
Yeah,
dude,
that's a good one.
It's on one of them, Lewis. If it's not streaming, it's either I think it's iTunes. I'm gonna watch that soon too. I love that. That was one of those. I have my guilty pleasure for some reason. Movies filmed inside of Costco. Employee of the Month is one of my favorite movies ever, and fucking The Watch is one of my favorite movies ever. I don't know why, but there's just something about them. Like, give me another movie filmed in a Costco, I'll probably fucking like it. Sadly.
But yeah, so the movie we're doing, it's Four Christmases.
Basically, it's about
Four Christmases.
In other territories, this is also known as Four Holidays, or marketed as Anywhere But Home.
Surviving Christmas. Skipping Christmas. I just want to mention real quick, this movie was on a list I mentioned the week prior of a movie that bombed, apparently budget 80 million, box office 163. This made 163?
Yeah, which technically
that is a bomb. I mean, it's double.
Yeah, but you gotta factor marketing in 2008
That was
like,
worldwide.
way more money.
Oh, 160 was worldwide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
120 was just in the US.
Then yeah, that's a bomb. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I honestly don't think movies marketing is that high in the budget of movies these days.
Well, a lot of it's digital. So if you've got
Yeah.
your own team of graphic designers and
Yep.
shit, what are you paying for besides distribution and like you're basically just paying for ad space.
Yeah. Well, and then with COVID too, it's like, no, we'll just hit you at home on.
Well, did you see that now? What was it? Universal's entire 2022 lineup will be on Peacock 45 days after theatrical release. Every single one of the Universal. Yep.
Wow.
So 45 days after theatrical, you will be able to stream it on
for
Peacock.
2022?
Who's Universal? That's what franchises are on Universal?
Fast and the Furious, I think.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's okay.
Let me double check and make sure it's Universal, but I'm pretty sure that's the studio. I read that.
Holy
I'm
shit.
The
assuming
entire
HBO
2022
Max is
lineup.
not going to do it again.
HBO Max set the bar. I'm telling you, they did a good job. I think it works.
Yep. Universal movies will go to theaters go to Peacock 45 days after they hit their theatrical window.
Shit.
Not all
Nice.
Universal movies will follow the new model. So Jurassic World Dominion, for example, is expected to be 120 days before it hits Peacock, which is double, but still understandable. Let's see. I'm just trying to see if they list any of the actual movies on the list. No, but I'm sure if I let's see.
Doing it again. HBO is gonna stop.
So, wait, that's fuck you, Wikipedia. I'm so tired of you. Yeah, I'm not looking this up, but I'm getting Orlando. Fuck, what universe? It's telling me Universal to start the studios. God damn you.
Oh, according
New
to
rides.
HBO Warner, there will be no more day and date releases for big blockbusters in 2022. Instead, they're copying Universal. Movies will
Oh.
have an exclusive theatrical window 45 days, after which they transition to HBO Max. Dude, I think this is honestly going to be the future
So
of cinema.
I don't know how many of these are actually going to hit. I'm going to assume a couple of them, but Universal's 2022 lineup of big names, at least, includes the Mario film, Halloween Ends, Puss in Boots, the new Minions movie, Jurassic Park, which we already know is in, Untitled Bloomhouse movie, which will be some probably off-brand white guy starring in some random horror movie, Legally Blonde 3, which is a big one. Yeah, so I mean, I think this is probably, as bad as it is to say, I think the pandemic pushed the industry, just kind of advanced it, press fast forward on somewhere it was already going to go. I think the future of it was always going to be eventuality. I mean, it will get to the point where it will be direct to, you can either go to the theater if you want, or you can stay home. Like at some point, it's going to be, the focus will be on the go, watch it at your convenience, anytime, anywhere. Right now, they're trying to make sure the theater industries have some hope of staying alive. But I mean, I think as a society, the COVID didn't make us look for more freedoms. It made us find different ways to be distant but together. So like, I don't know if the theater industry is ever going to bounce back. I don't know if people, even if there isn't a new variant, even if whatever, I don't know if our society is now wanting that. Like,
I think it's going to be a hybrid. It's going to exist as a hybrid.
It's going to
Well,
have to be.
as we moved on towards, you can get basically anything you want in the palm of your hands these days. COVID proved that that's also true for entertainment, and I think it'll lean more towards the streaming.
I guess my question is, right, why hasn't the theater industry developed some sort of streaming platform, right? Why don't you do a contract with the companies and say, okay, well, here's our new thing. Come to our theater, or just like you would go to the theater, you pay for a ticket.
Like AMC
right?
at home.
You've got, they give a shorter window. You've got 6 hours to stream the movie. And yeah, you do AMC at home where it's, I pay, and maybe make it $25, $30 to rent it, with the assumption that you're watching it with family or friends or something, right? But still, if you do have the option of going, you know what, it's in theaters right now, or I could pay $30 and not leave the house, take a piss when I want, drink my own beverages. The family's all here. I can finally see that I think is where the theaters could make money off of, where they go, yeah, we've got exclusive contracts for the first 45 days. Come to the theaters, sure, or stream it at home if it's more convenient. $30 a pop. Here's your time slots. Do it that way. Make it so certain days you only have so many licenses and you actually have like theater times. You could format it where, okay, we're slotted from 10 o'clock to midnight. Let's start it. Or 10 o'clock to 1 a.m. or whatever. Let's start it. You could structure something that way.
Yeah.
Well, when Halloween Kills had came out and I found out it was coming on Peacock for free, I told my wife and she's like, that's awesome. And I was like, if it wasn't for free and they still gave me the option to pay money to watch it at home, I'd fucking pay it. Like, I'd do it.
I appreciated it so much I upgraded the extra $5 on the subscription for ad-free. I was like, you're going to get my $5 a month. Thanks. If you're going to give me content that I like and I enjoy, I'm going to support you in some way. And that's what really kind of needs to happen, I think, is like, whether people want to admit it or not, we can hold on to I still love going with my popcorn in the movie theater and my mask on. It's so enjoyable.
No,
we can keep that charade up.
I like pushing the popcorn through my mask.
Yeah, it's just, like we went to a restaurant the other day and, I'm expected to literally have a mask on when I walk through the place. But if I sit down, I go into the room that my wife's company's party's in, not a single fucking mask. And it's like, can we stop pretending, please? Can we stop shutting down small businesses while Walmart still operates, please? Like, can we start treating this like something that is serious? But we got to stop. Like, we need to move on. Like, at this point, let's get the vaccine tooled up to enough where you can catch it and it's nothing but a simple cold, and that way you'll get the natural immunity. Because that's what we really all need. We all need to catch it. The vaccine needs to figure out a way to give it to us without having severe consequences, or for us to go on and catch it without severe consequences. That's really what needs to happen. We all need the natural immunity at some point, need to get it. It's a lot like chickenpox, but it's global.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what happens. I don't know, maybe I'll fucking die from a meteor soon. What the fuck do I know?
There's supposed to be one coming.
Yeah, we're shooting rockets at
again.
Or satellites. So,
yeah.
This movie's cliche. It is what it is. It's a good movie if you like Vince Vaughn and you like this style. Like, this movie's slightly reminiscent of that other one he did, Couples Therapy, where they go on the vacation island, which I actually like that movie a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot like that. It's Vince Vaughn in kind of a... I know he's not a father in this movie, but he's very much a dad role almost. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got that kind of vibe of, like, he's older, he's a little heavier, he's not swingers anymore, so he fits into that kind of doughy, like, funny guy role. But I dig this movie. I think it's a pretty good couples movie too.
It's also I'm sure all four of us have dealt this where having to travel to
multiple
family
families
members gatherings, like everyone has that like one chunk of family where you're like, I really don't want to go see them for the holidays. Like,
well, see, the scene with Vince Vaughn where they go to his family's, the first house, and he goes in the room and he's like, if you want to get out of here, like, I support it if it's on. That's me in most engagements where it's like, yo, if you want to
say mistletoe,
like, don't worry about me. We can literally, I got the app. I'll start the car. Like, that's me.
Yeah.
Now, in his defense, his family, his dad,
pieces of
and
shit,
his brothers, they're fucking assholes.
And I will say, they
are assholes.
It is really fucked up for him not to tell her his actual name for 3 fucking
years.
Yeah,
that is messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you've hidden each other from each other's families for 3 years.
Also,
that's
they play fucking games and get laid to each other in random places by lying to each other. Oh, I'm so and so.
Well, that's foreplay.
Well, no, that's like
No,
that's like a romantic like game they do.
But if you got to do that and you're also hiding who you really are, and you're also hiding other stories about yourself from her side. No, you guys are hiding.
No, I don't think you can say because he hid that it's equatable to, like, he's not trying to play a different life. He's just trying to get it hard on in a different way.
I think fundamentally from the beginning of this movie, even to the end, they're both shitty people.
A little
Yes.
bit.
Yeah.
But isn't
yeah.
that the whole point of the movie is
both
they
are.
kind of like
They redeem themselves at
well,
the end.
not even redeeming,
even.
but throughout the movie, the whole movie is them basically
still don't.
self-reflecting on how they're individually pieces of shit, and like then kind of feeling bad about it. Like, I mean, what do you guys think of the ending?
Well,
Even at
both
the end,
have-
they're still pieces of
yeah,
shit.
they're still pieces of shit. But they both have families that are shitty too towards them.
But see, but when I
some
say they're
form.
both shitty people, I like that because I like movies that people are not perfect because that's not how a fucking person
Okay,
is.
have you seen Fun with Dick and Jane?
Yeah.
It's been a long time, but
I love that movie because they both at some point just are dumb. Like they're at the end of their rope and do stupid shit, irrational shit that people would do. Like I like this movie because like they don't like, and here's the thing. Is it so wrong to want to have your own time on your own? You work 60 hours a week, 80 hours a week. Are you a bad person for wanting to go on your own So what if you haven't seen him in 3 years? Like,
But if you lie about it,
that makes you a little shitty. Here's the thing. We've all been in a situation where the lie is just easier and doesn't hurt the other person. Like, they don't lie because they want to get away with something. They lie because if they told the truth of, I can't fucking stand you, I'm going on a real vacation, it would hurt their family's feelings. Like, so I don't look at those lies as a lie for them. It's a lie to just spare people's feelings and no questions asked. We've all been in that situation with family where it's like, hey, you want it? It's like, oh, I'm sorry, my pet turkey died, so I gotta go bury him. Like, it's just one of those things where, like, I don't know if, I mean, they're not great role models, but I don't know if you're a piece of shit for wanting your own vacation. It's not like they're going
left alone.
Yeah, it's not like they're going and fucking other people. Like, they just want to go to an island and spend time together. Is that so bad?
I don't know. Well, to lie to your family for 3 years in a row,
That
maybe
maybe
just a little bit.
The fact that it's 3 years is the problem. Like, I also am a straight up person, so there would be no lies. It'd be like, yeah, no, we're not coming. Sorry.
I mean, but it's
also,
made even worse by the end of the movie. They
Yeah.
become worse liars.
Yeah.
See, but I also call bullshit
get exposed
on
first.
the families because it's a human being thing where if you invite me to a Halloween party you throw every year and I say no, and you invite me the second year and I say no, and you invite me the third year I say no, at some point it's your job to realize stop inviting.
Well, here's the other thing, right?
Clearly
Like,
not gonna go.
they clearly don't have a good relationship because if they did, like, let's say Giovanni, you have the kid, or Lewis has the kids, right? Giovanni wants to buy a 360, right, for the kid. You would have communicated. And if Lewis was like, dude, that's way out of, like, that's really fucked, like, I can't afford that, and that's what he wants, I get it, but how do I explain that? Giovanni would then go, so we'll talk how you talked to me, and I made sure I got it, and this is from you guys and me. That's how real brothers would handle the situation. So he comes into the fucking situation like, nobody told me about a $10 limit. He does what he thinks is an awesome uncle gift of like, come on, baby, it's the Xbox. Like, that's his fucking mindset. He's all happy that the kid's opening it and the brother just shits on it because he's a shitty father.
But it wasn't just, he got the pro elite
and the only reason it's a bad gift is because they're all so fucking trash. They literally gave the kids a $10 limit on presents. And it's like, once again, communication. If you all would just fucking talk to each other, like, you're all shitty people. Every person in this movie is shitty.
Everyone
the
in this
concept,
movie needs a therapist.
This scene right here is my brother's relationship with our mom and Rory.
Yeah, dude.
She just cannot understand. Like, don't buy him this. And not only will she go buy it, but she'll buy the biggest version of it.
I think I know that.
So I have a true Christmas.
It gets worse. It gets worse, Anthony.
So I have
fucking worse.
I have several really bad Christmas stories from my white trash family in Michigan. But so one in particular, I remember my cousin wanted this boombox, right? And But my aunt bought her this big fucking giant boombox, but it wasn't the exact one. And then I remember my cousin sitting in the living room crying, and she's like 15 and screaming that she didn't get the right one. And then it literally started an entire family long fight. And my mom, my brother, my dad, and I were all like our own unit. So literally, I remember like while they're arguing, my dad's just like, let's go over here. And we would just go in the kitchen and like look at our shit we just got. Meanwhile, like shit's being thrown around in the fucking living room and crying and screaming. And I think at one point, my step uncle bought all he bought for my aunt for Christmas. And they drove their trailer and parked it in the driveway. And they were in the trailer and he bought her caller ID and a Kenny G CD. And she kicked the fucking trailer door open and whipped it out the door into the snow.
Oh, wow.
Meanwhile, like motherfucking him with everything she could say. Yeah, like literally my family. This is why like I personally enjoy Christmas Vacation because my family was more dysfunctional than Eddie. Like Eddie was just kind of a fucked up dude, but well like meaning at heart. And my family was just pieces of shit. Like just trashy
picture
pieces of shit.
Some little kid walking on the sidewalk in the snow and he gets domed in the head with a Kenny G.
Fucking is
Yeah,
a fucking
Kenny
Kenny G CD, son of a bitch. Like, yeah, I would be pissed if I was like, I'd want to return.
No, but I still feel Vince Vaughn's fucking family is pretty fucked up, and so is her mom. Her mom's side, because what she said, you're walking into a cougar's den, and as soon as he gets in there, they're all fucking cougars.
Well, see, like that's the thing is like, and like I do find the funny that they bring up her chubby past.
Yeah,
And his reaction to that is not good. Like he has a terrible reaction to it. I do like how I like cliches in certain movies, so like I kind of like how she kind of gets baby fever. And it's one of the things that brings them together, that they kind of like. The movie's message is a little weird though. The movie has a very much like marry, obey, procreate, obey. Like only true happiness can be found in each other and a baby. Like,
but did they get married at the end?
It does have like an eat, sleep, consume type thing.
No, so what's weird about when they like meet up
Just wedlock.
before the jump is, it's weird because you'd think they'd be like, yeah, we should get married, but their conversation is like, we should get married, but not now. We should have baby, but not now.
But you know what though? That concept isn't that weird. My brother-in-law and they're technically engaged, but with no intention of getting married. Like, I don't get it either. It's this idea of just like, well, we're not going to go again. We're not going to go with the status quo, so we're going to just stay engaged. And it's like, what the fuck does it matter at this point?
Do they have children too, or
no? They're never. They're never going to have kids. They have no plans to have kids. I don't believe.
My wife and I decided that we're going to have our kid first, and then we said, you know what, let's just get married. We're already a family. Let's just fucking make it official. But we never planned to get married. My wife and I, we said, we could have a family. We could be. And she was like, well, if we have a kid, the kids are going to have your name. And I was like, well, why? Because it didn't, we weren't married yet. But it was just one of those things.
That was just you trying to dodge the responsibility the whole time. Like, we don't need to get married. I don't need to be attached. Like, we're good.
But no, because when we first got together, we said that we weren't going to have children. But then just like 6 months later, we're like, all right, let's just have a child. I'm like, all right, cool. And it was just one of those things. And then we got married.
Hey, man, when you know, right? Yeah. Here you are, 76 years later, still madly in love.
17.
You got robots.
Sorry, I may have over exaggerated. Yeah, everybody in Alex's future, he's still married to his wife, but they have Doc Ock tentacles to move around.
Wouldn't mind those.
Right? I'd be so fucking lazy. Like, if I had Doc Ock tentacles, I wouldn't drive anywhere. I'd just be spider walking everywhere.
I could cook dinner and fucking do the dishes at
the
same time.
You want me to go get some White Castle? Fuck, shit, no problem.
Don't need the car.
Like, and that's what it would be too. Car. Like, they make it seem all nice, like he's auto-balanced by the tentacles, but like real life technology, like you'd be running into poles and shit, and they would fucking slip on a fucking sewer grate or something, or you'd rip the manhole cover off and shoot it into the building. Like, that would be real life Doc Ock tentacles. Fucking, I know it's connected in my brain, but frankly, I'm kind of fucking stupid. I'm having a little bit of trouble here. I don't know which one's my leg is. It's like ripping children in half because they're just fucking swiping all over the place. Anyway.
Get out
Who
the
Framed
way!
Roger Rabbit is on 4K, just like
It is on 4K. That's gonna be the name of this episode. Did you know Who Framed Roger Rabbit is on 4K?
So, because of your guys' behavior, I'm going into full ASMR mode. I refuse to talk at any decibel level higher than this.
All right.
And I may start to do weird moans like Fabian.
Let's see how long this takes.
yeah, Fabian does do some fucking weird sounds.
It is. We will be playing Call of Duty.
I will be sitting there.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll be sitting there eating and I'm listening to them. And when they're quiet, you hear, and I look up like, what the fuck is that? Like, it's just, I'm like, why the fuck does he do that?
It's like gases escaping his body.
It's just how he.
no
It's just how he's
idea.
breathing through his mouth. Like it's just how he's
Maybe
at
he listens to
rest.
this podcast, doesn't he?
Every
Yes,
episode.
he does.
Oh,
Yeah, it's how he
It's-
breathes at rest. Like Tim
It's
does
the
it
Benoit
too.
balls he has inserted that's making him say this.
Well, no, Tim does it too, but Tim does it like the Abominable Snowman. Like when he starts going, you'll hear like,
don't.
That's why he mutes his mic.
yeah. Fabian's just like you'll hear like a, but Tim is like, like you could get the visual of his chest breathing up and down by how hard it
Fabian's
sounds.
like he's
Oh
a
my
chef
God.
occasionally tasting his soup.
Just like he's savoring life, and Tim is like ready to get into a fight when he. It's just the weirdest. Like people have weird. That's why like the invention of not microphones that are not stuck to your heads are the best, because that was the problem with Xbox is you would get all of like you'd have the like, you know, or it'd have like you accidentally slap it. It's like dunk. Like the greatest invention or the greatest thing you could do is get a fucking microphone that's not attached to your face, because it's just like. The weirdness of early Xbox Live chat of just like the just like, and then you wouldn't hear it. It'd be like, I didn't mute him. What happened to that guy? And then sure enough, it was like they would like concentrate and pull out of it, and then immediately go into their weird fucking sleep apnea mode.
I love it. And then you'd ask him, like, hey, you all right there, dude? You all right? Yeah, fine.
Oh, it's the most awkward thing in the world to call people out for their weird breathing. Like, what do you mean? I don't sound like that. I'm like, you sure? Because I think you might be dying. I'm pretty sure doctors would describe what you just made as a death gasp.
At one point, was there like a reference to COVID or like his like it hasn't been the same since like his breathing hasn't been the same or some shit like that?
No, his big thing. Should we say this in the episode? His big thing with COVID was he couldn't stop shitting.
Oh.
I remember him texting me, be like, bro, I haven't fucking stopped. It's terrible. And it's like, from COVID? He's like, yeah, I didn't know about it either. Yeah, that
you
was.
tell him like, dude, that's actually not a side effect. You
Sounds,
just-
yeah,
something's wrong
right. You
with
got
your body.
fucking food poisoning. You shouldn't have gone to that Thai restaurant. It's like, I'm right there
Food
with
you're
you.
eating.
I'm right there with you, brother. It was Pizza Saturday. All right. Final scores.
Hey,
Let's
thanks for being our number one supporter, Fabian.
love you, buddy. If we had a Patreon going right now, you would be like the one person listed.
Yeah, we'd have a category for
I
it.
actually do have a movie podcast shirt ordered for him, but I forgot to send it to deliver to him. So
You got to put in
Anyways.
the back saying,
That'd be a tier. $6 is the tier.
yeah, it's a tier. Delicious Christmas Dogs. I like this movie. I'm gonna go an easy 3.5 out of 5.
I'll go next. This is man, I've given all 4s for everything, but this is also a 4 for me. I've always liked this movie. I've never owned it or anything, so I haven't watched it in a long time. And I wanted to do it last year, but it didn't make it.
We had a lot of. This year has definitely been much more lighthearted, I think, than
Yeah.
last year's Christmas. I do want to ask real quick. I'm sorry to cut you off. Out of the like Christmassy family ones we've watched, what's your Deck the Halls, Four Christmases, the other one too.
The other one that we
Fuck, I can't remember the name of it.
This is my top
we got
10
Christmas with the
Christmas
Cranks was
movies.
the other one.
Okay.
In I would say no, not even top 10 movies. Christmas with the Cranks and Four Christmases are on there.
Fred Claus as well, another Vince Vaughn one.
Yeah.
I do like Christmas with the Cranks is probably my favorite out of all of the movies we reviewed this month.
Mine is actually Fred Claus.
Fred Claus is good.
Clark Kent didn't wear glasses, or Superman didn't wear glasses, did he? But Clark Kent did. Did he, Paul Giamatti?
I think for me it would be Santa Claus 2 and this one. I did like Four Christmases, and I like Santa Claus 2.
I think I like Coco.
For me, it'd be Santa Claus 2. I love the Santa Claus movies.
Yeah.
Nothing will beat those for me.
Makes sense.
And then it would go Cranks, and then this one actually. I really did like this.
No
movie.
love for the Fred Claus.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Well, so I did 4 out of 5. What about you two?
Yeah, you losers.
This one's an easy 4 out of 5 for me.
God damn it, we have no coordination chemistry at all. Everybody at
This
once
is
now.
No worries, I'm good.
No,
this is an easy 4 out of 5. I'm not a Vince Vaughn fan, but this movie was it complements Vince Vaughn's acting really well, and I think his comedy shines here, so I like it a lot.
Yeah. For me, it's a 3.5. I liked all the family dynamics and shit that is going on. It does represent a lot of like real life type things. You go to all these different families and you have your little shit. But as far as Vince Vaughn's character and what's her name, Kate, they are really the biggest pieces of shit out of the movie. But Vince Vaughn's father side, oh my god, I can't stand that fucking side. They were like the horrible fucking.
By the way,
I never.
There's only one thing more egotistical than naming your children after where they were conceived, and that's giving them the same first name, which is your name,
Yeah.
and then giving them different middle names.
Yeah.
Like a couple people we might know.
Not me.
Yeah, you do.
No, my kids aren't named after
No,
me.
no, mommy.
Oh.
Both of them are named after the father. They just have different middles.
Oh God. Yeah, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what George Foreman.
You know, George Foreman, he made the
He
George
named-
Foreman grill. He do whatever he wants.
He named even his daughters George.
Georgina.
And every form
That's
of
an
George.
ugly name.
It is a terrible, there isn't even a Georgina on the Golden Girls. Even they knew better.
Because that's not the only daughter he named like that. He named them all.
Hey man, when you're the fucking heavyweight champion of the world,
But hey, it's his
just
kids. He can do
slinging
whatever he
dick, you
wants.
can name him whatever you want.
And he's got the money to do it.
Well, since we're closing it out,
He's got the Monday to do it.
Well, no, even it doesn't matter
Monday, I said money.
it doesn't matter how rich you are. That doesn't give you the right to be a.
Well,
fun,
no,
like,
because
he's got the
nobody's
money.
gonna-
Fucking name him whatever you want, you piece of
Because
shit.
if you got the money, nobody's gonna fuck with you later.
he's got the Monday, he's got the Tuesday.
Wednesdays, anything that ends with Y, I think he owns.
But before we close out our episode, since
And
it's
bacon.
Christmas, is there anything you guys are looking forward to Christmas this year, or Christmas tradition you do, or
So I got locked out of doing the Christmas lights on the porch for some reason this year.
that's because you're a piece of shit?
Probably. I do want to try to get to because we like to go, especially out here. There's people that do in some of the south suburbs. There's people that do extravagant light displays. And last year we went to it, and the day we went, it wasn't on when it was supposed to be. So I'm gonna try to get out there. Down in Downers, yeah, it was totally a bummer. You literally pull up, and literally 3 houses have all coordinated, and it's just the yards are full of shit. Normally music is supposed to be playing, and none of them were lit up, and it was there was 6 other cars around there. The fuck? So we're gonna try to hit that again. Also, there's the One Lights thing, the drive-through lights display in Downers Grove. I'd like to get to. I gotta call Starved Rock and schedule my New Year's Day brunch after our New Year's Eve party thing with them. I hope they have good food at the buffet.
That's got to be fun, man. I hope it's fun for you guys.
I hope so,
You guys
but
deserve it.
my anxiety the whole time is going to be
It's
driving.
awful.
So it's going to be probably mentally for me it will be. I don't like people. I don't like not being home. I don't like being away from my dogs. It'll it's one of those situations we got to let the fun be fun, and
Yeah.
that's all it is. It'll be fun. The problem is she drinks so little. It's an open bar, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get fucking blackout.
Do it.
Free alcohol.
Make sure you have the GoPro up out here. So
I'm
while
gonna
you-
film.
while you're
I think
walking
we're
around.
gonna try to film a sequel. I think
Get another GoPro, put it on your chest.
She can drink. I'll just bring my Ring doorbell and attach it to me. She can drink her thimble full of whatever, and I'll just keep pounding shots until I'm blitzed. I'll have to actually time it because I have to make it to midnight. So,
what about
for me,
guys?
For me, I'm just for my wife. I want to go to the Logan house if it's open. I don't know if they're doing the lights again this year because the old man passed away and his daughter's taken over.
Is that in Humble House?
Yeah, right there, right off the expressway on Logan. I'd like to go over there and check it out because they have a good display every year, and hopefully the daughter's still going to continue since her father passed.
I hope so. I mean, let's be honest. If she were to sell that lot, that's a double lot. That's a lot of money in that area.
Yeah. That's one of the main things, just to make my wife happy. I would like to go do that. My kids don't fucking like it, but fuck them. They're kids.
Fuck them, right?
They're kids. They have to do whatever we say.
They have to eat Doritos and enjoy it.
What about you, Giovanni, Anthony?
I'm going with my wife's family, and we're making tamales and carundas.
What the fuck is a carunda?
You think you
actually,
could ship me
I want some tamales.
How would that work?
I'll try and make extra ones. My wife is like, I'm not making extras. Like,
wait, are you going to be in Orland Park?
No, we're going to be by her sister's, which is
Joliet.
Yeah, near
Oof.
Joliet.
Let me know when you're back in Orland. We'll get together.
By her mom's.
Yeah, just just drop her off and be like, yo, I'll see you later.
Bye.
Later. Oh, that's I'll come pick you up. That's right. I forgot. Man on the run.
For me, we usually do Christmas by my mom's and Christmas Eve by my mother-in-law's. But for this Christmas, I mean, my son is 2 now, so this is going to be like the first Christmas that he can actually do stuff and open stuff. And my son's obsessed with fire trucks and monster trucks and all that.
Me too.
And the thing I've been wanting to do when he was around this age is buy like a Lego set or something.
I was just going to ask you, how much are you looking forward to building Legos with him?
So we actually bought him 2 they're like off-brand Legos, but they come with their own power tools to put the fucking things together.
Dude.
Yeah, so like I'm fucking ecstatic to do that with him.
I don't have okay, so the gift I got for your son is not power tools, but it is a tool related.
Well, I'm sorry, Rory, if you're listening.
Cool thing. Yeah, no, these come with, it's a large thing, comes with like 192 pieces and its own little drill.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. So hopefully I'm gonna record him helping me with that. But I'm the most excited to do that with him for Christmas.
That's awesome. I have to go to, I shouldn't have said it that way, but I'm going to my mother-in-law's for Christmas Day. Christmas Eve, normally we spend with my dad's side, but there's been no contact there, so I'm just going to assume not doing it. Yeah. Which is fine with me. I'd rather stay home. The last time we went out there, I literally, somebody slid out right in front of me. It was when we got icy rain, and none of the salt trucks have gone through, and the motherfucker just spun out right in front of me. And that was the moment where I was like, he knew he fucked up. Like, you should be home. Everybody good? Did we miss anybody?
No.
Everyone.
So, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, you folks watching will not see me till the latter half of January. But I guess for me, and you guys have a good year.
You will be missed.
Yeah, this is the Merry Christmas episode, everybody. I hope you, whenever you're watching this, I hope you had at least some time to spend with the family, whether you whatever you believe in. I mean, hopefully you got some time to be with some loved ones, and at the minimum, maybe got some decompression time from everyday life, just to kind of regroup. Yeah. We will be back next week, though, we will be back next week. There's the New Year's Eve episode with Giovanni, Alex, and days.
Yeah, we did say that.
End of
Congo.
Days, Ghostbusters 2, and a Money a Train.
The Moon
Yes,
Train, yes.
yes.
Not Congo. Shut up, please. January, we've got mapped out. We've got the live episode coming back for January. We'll be doing that the 28th. Couple awesome movies, Warriors and Judgment Night. If you've never heard of it, please look into it. It's quite an. I love the movie. What else we got? We got some good stuff
if
for
you've
January.
never heard
too.
about the Rocketeer, that would be
Yeah,
something
first
to look into.
episode back. We will be that episode. Fuck that episode. So we're gonna that probably won't be posted till the 14th because we're gonna be recording.
Oh,
we're gonna be recording
okay,
that
yeah.
the 7th. But yeah, January we've got 6 new movies. We're going back to the 2-movie format now that we're out of Christmas or out of December month. So we're going back to 2 movies a week. January we'll have 3 new episodes, and then after that we should have a full 4-episode schedule.
I think we have
barring
one
any-
new movie during that time.
We do. We have
Matrix 4.
Matrix
and-
4. Yeah, we'll be doing Matrix 1 and Matrix 4. So we got some new stuff. We got some old stuff. We got some fun stuff. New Year's Eve episode should be fun. We'll be doing that next week. You guys will see that next week after this.
What month is Texas Chainsaw?
Oh yeah,
February, I thought,
February,
wasn't
right?
it?
February.
February. So shit,
Yeah,
we gotta
we'll
get
we'll
there.
definitely be doing that one for February.
Ah.
Also for February, we will be doing the Mummy trilogy.
Yes.
In the future, not too long, I hope after that, I would like to do like Back to the Future trilogy. Basically, we're going to try to reserve doing 3 episodes for things like trilogies or like the Lethal Weapon franchise. And it's not going to be treated so much as a 3-movie thing. It's going to be, let's talk about the franchise, the series, whatever it may be. Those episodes will be a little different. Those episodes will be things where it won't be structured like the next movie review. We're just going to have a nice, fun discussion with it.
Unless Lethal Weapon actually does come out with another movie.
If that happens, I mean, that's going to be after Passion of the Christ. So you're looking at 2025. Jesus has to rise, brother. But yeah, so the fun stuff coming up. We got a lot of fun episodes, I think, coming. Gonna try to mix new and old. Keep an eye on the YouTube channel. There's always new shit we're trying to put out. Check out the Advent calendar videos we've got going. If you haven't checked them out, you should be seeing this with the. We're not in Christmas yet because we're a week delayed. So a week after you see this episode, you should see the final episode of the Advent calendar. There will be 24 of them. Plus, there's other stuff in the works, trying to figure things out, how to film, whatnot. I'm actually looking about doing some sort of YouTube series. I don't know about what, but the new backdrop's part of it, so I can film one-on-one video without it looking so weird and just me. So fun stuff coming. Keep an eye out. Check out the Spotify. Check out In Nothing We Trust on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all that right now. That one's an audio only. But I'm going to go ahead and I will see you next week. And every day I stream. I mean, fucking I'm everywhere. Bye, everybody.
Take care.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.